It's always like that. It's always like that. Well, we are live officially. Welcome to another episode of Untitled. I'm your host, R. Jones. I also serve as the moderator as well. And joining me, as always, my man formerly of the BX, the Big Down, Boogie Down Bronx, now residing in Carolina. Dominic is here. How you doing, my brother?
All's good. All right, let's roll, baby.
Let's roll. I'm feeling good tonight. I'm feeling good. Like I said, we talked about that thing. I might get into it a little bit later as well. We got a lot of, somewhat a lot of stuff to talk about that's not listed here. So we might get into that a little later. I might actually extend this to almost 3 hours tonight.
Whoa. Whoa, you off tomorrow?
Yeah. I'm off tomorrow. So that that's why I could do that. You know what I'm saying? So let's hop into the first thing. And I'm gonna take my camera off because I see I'm staggering a little bit. So hopefully this helps out a little bit. First thing tonight on the docket, Travis Hunter, Colorado Buffaloes, the dual superstar, wide receiver and at cornerback as well. There was a little bit of interesting news on him. He was saying that if he's not going to play both sides of the ball, then he's going to quit playing football, which I think is a bunch of BS because you're not going to turn down all that money because of your desire to want to be a two-way. And really, does it qualify as two-way if it's the same sport? I mean, maybe it does in a way. But, I think, honestly, this is not really a good move for him. I think I brought this up before. Dude, I get it. You're young. You're athletic. You obviously can play the game. But at the same time, don't you think it serves as a little bit of a detriment to not only your health, but also a detriment to the team? Because if you get injured, and as talented as you are, I'm sure you'll be an immediate. I would like to think he's going to be an immediate contributor. You know what I'm saying? On both defense and offense. You're playing both sides. That only increases your chance of sustaining an injury. And God knows how long the injury could be. It could be something minor, a little ding, or it could be something major in which you need surgery and you're out for the year and you're struggling to get back to 100%. I just think it's kind of a little bit irresponsible response from him.
Do you think, that some of these guys have taken on too much of the Dion persona?
You know what? They probably were influenced by that, and they see it, and they tend to emulate it. So it's quite a possibility. You know what I'm saying? But again, let's be realistic. I mean, some of these injuries are horrific. Okay, and we've seen them, Dom. You know what I'm saying? So
it is football. That's
exactly.
This
is the violence.
Thing. I mean,
we're talking about a violent sport, brother. You understand what I'm saying? Make no mistake. We're talking about. I see Mr. Live. Let me get him in here. Yes, sir, Mr. Live. Your mic is live. What's going on? Yes, I can hear you clearly, brother. How you doing tonight? Thanks for joining.
I'm good, man. It's a pleasure and an honor to be with y'all, man.
Yes, sir.
What's good, Don?
What up, Live? My bad.
Hey, Live.
What's happening?
No, I was about to say what we was talking about, but how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm good, man. And I don't know what I might have said to y'all about the Knicks and yesterday, right? But I've been thinking, man, and looking, and we'll talk about it, man. But other than that, I'm 57, man. I know I probably might have y'all about some of y'all.
No, not me at all.
And not me either. Exactly, brother.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you see how used to I am of being the oldest in the room, right? So, right. So, but me being down here, man, is a culture shock times 5. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because it's these cats don't roll like we do up top. They don't do business like we do up top.
Exactly.
They mannerisms and everything I'm going through actually as a man, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Is being kind of thrown against the screen and everything. So it's almost like a rebirth. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
So I'm loving life right now. You know what I'm saying?
That's beautiful thing. Beautiful.
Like I'm up against it, but I'm loving it because you know, I be on some anime shit now. I be on some conquer the world shit. You feel me? Like
Yes,
it's me
sir.
against the world. So I'm good with it. I'm
Right,
good with it. So
right.
it's making me feel alive again. You know what I'm saying? You
Well,
know. So
that's a beautiful feeling right there, brother. I can't even
yeah,
deny that.
yeah.
It truly is. So that's fantastic, and I'm
Yeah.
glad that you're on that journey right now. You
Thank you.
understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But we was talking about this guy Travis Hunter, and he's saying that if any NFL team drafts him and if he can't get the chance to play on both sides of the ball, being offense and defense, he's gonna quit.
Dumb. Asshole. Asshole.
don't hold back, live.
Like, hey, listen, I already okay, so it brought me to Charlie Ward, right?
Hmm.
Except that Charlie Ward had choices,
Yes, he did.
right? Charlie Ward was a Heisman Trophy winner and was like, listen, because of the racism, right? Because I supposed to be number one pick, I supposed to be first round quarterback.
Hmm.
Okay, you might pick me in the last pick in the first round, but I'm a first round quarterback,
Right.
and I forgot who was coming out that year. He said, I'm not dealing with the NFL if I can't go in the first round because of y'all prejudice at this position,
Hmm.
right? He said, fuck y'all, I'm going to the Knicks and be on the bench, and he
Right.
made a beautiful career out of that.
Yes, he did.
I'm not well versed on Travis Hunter, right?
Okay.
But his couch selling skills better be upright,
Hmm.
right? He better be able to sell a car, right? Because again, you going into like the if we talking about Charlie Ward talking about racism, right? Now we talking about you coming into the plantation thinking them cats is gonna let you,
Hmm.
right? And you
Hmm.
you deserve or you let like I done proved in college I'm a two-way player. That's college.
It's
And
college,
you was
exactly.
phenomenal in that. You understand what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go to the league, get your money, right? And then work your way into that.
Hmm.
Don't say nothing. Don't get them cats ultimatums before you even get on the
Right.
field. You ain't
Right.
played one NFL rep in your life. Go get you a Heisman Trophy check, right? Go get you a Heisman check as a rookie
Right.
and shut the fuck up and then burn everybody in training camp. Kill
Right.
everybody.
Kill everybody. You know what? My problem is live on, and I was talking to Don about this. I was pointing out the fact, yo, this is the NFL. This is a violent sport. You want to be out there a majority of the snaps on both sides of the ball, and
Oh,
you're only in, yeah, both sides. That's what he wants, and you're only increasing the likelihood of you getting hurt.
right.
You
Your
understand what I'm saying?
longevity.
What do you, yeah, and I get it. You're young and everything. When you're young, you think you're Superman and all that shit. But when real shit goes down, and you know what I'm saying, you're in the goddamn laying on your back in the operating table and whatnot, and out for
You,
the rest of the year. Yo, come on
you
now.
you know who that bring me to? You
Who?
remember Maurice Carthon?
Yeah, from the
All right.
Giants.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
remember why he quit?
Mm-hmm.
He was a tailback, and they was running his ass like he was a running back, and he got
Right.
1,000 yards that year.
Right.
Maybe 2 years later, he said, "Man, listen, I go home, and every cell in my body is crying. I
Exactly.
don't want this.
No.
I don't want to feel like this the rest of my life." You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
He
I'm
got
I'm
out.
coaching. I'm
You
Yeah, he
coaching.
got
remember?
out.
You remember the guy? I forgot who he played for. I think the Vikings. That little dude, Robert Smith.
All right. Okay. Okay.
What he played 4 years, maybe.
Mm.
Here's the difference between this kid and Charlie Ward. Charlie Ward just put out one. I'm not really interested in playing football.
Mm.
He put
Well,
that
okay.
out. I want my
Okay.
career
I
to
didn't
end
know that.
here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
But he had a pause. But if I go in the first round, I will.
Okay.
And
Okay.
here's what threw teams for loop because I remembered it.
Okay.
Mm.
If I go in the first round, I'll
Right.
think about the NFL. Now, I mean, I love
uh,
Charlie Ward. Trust me, I watched him in college. I
right.
love what he stood for. But you can't say
Right.
pause and then say I'll think about it. because
yeah.
now somebody's going to waste a first round pick, and you sitting with R one day having a beer and say, you know what, I really ain't into this football stuff.
Right.
Plus, the Knicks drafted him, believe it or not, in the first round. I forgot what number he went, but he was the first round pick for the Knicks.
I thought they
he was
hit
the
him in
first
the
round
second
pick.
Right.
He
Okay.
was the first round pick for the Knicks. So, and you know what? Like Live said, it worked out. Now, I asked R Live before you came on, have some of these guys taken on too much of the Deion Sanders persona?
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yes. I think, and it might have been team wide. And again, I think I had mentioned it before, where Deion has such insight. I don't want to call it control. He has such insight on them brothers being who they need to be at that particular moment with all the cameras on, right?
Yes, sir.
He makes them save 40% of their bread, they NHL bread. He makes them dress a certain way. He makes them volunteer a certain way. You understand what I'm saying? So I think they see more than is actually happening, because the camera and the magnetism is Deion Sanders' team, right? Like, and Deion Sanders' leadership. After you leave that pod, it's a different thing, because I don't know you, right?
Exactly.
I don't know who you are. If your name is not Travis Hunter and his son, you know what I'm saying? Both of Shador and his son. If you ain't them three cats, and maybe that little running back, he was nice. I don't know you guys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So your cachet disappears, and maybe some of your arrogance costs you some money down the line somewhere. But and I think it lessens your choices, because you think you got more, and you really don't. So
see, I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm not going to lie or sit here and lie. I don't understand the financial aspect of being like a 1 through 8 pick in the NFL. I understand it in the NBA because their CBA dictates that if you're a lottery pick, your contract has to be a certain number, which in years past, it wasn't like that. You basically was held hostage by the team that drafted you. So the NBA fit, but I don't know. I don't know the NFL's like, do you have to be a top 3 pick to get? I don't know. And we all know, I don't care if they offered this number 2 pick $20 million. Then we always got to read the comma and the bow legs of what's guaranteed.
Right.
Because you might think you're making $20 million, but your ass is making 8.
Right.
And 12 will be prorated if I don't understand the schematics of the NFL. So
yeah.
Can I ask you guys something?
Please.
Was Travis Hunter's value predicated on his dual player, or was it just because he was a extraordinary wide? I mean, safety.
I personally, I think it's the athleticism.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's basically predicated on that, and more so than any preference or like, did he play better at this position compared to that position? You know what I'm saying? I just think it's more of an athletic thing to me.
Right. So again, because again, this might have been the second year I watched some college football, and again, I watched the last year. I watched because of Deion, but my thing was, I didn't feel like, and I gave that to my lack of knowledge about other players and the system and whatever have you. I didn't think his safety skills was draft like highest draft, like that alone.
Okay.
Like that alone, it was, you know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't like he was even this, and this is just me, and you guys got to correct me on this.
Right.
I didn't think he was that much of a crazy wide receiver either. Right? And again, I don't want to. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm used to seeing these dynamic dudes. On the wideouts, and I'm just like, okay, it got to be the dual citizenship that got people talking about him. Because I mean, again, I think the system allowed him to freelance all over the place and get all of them picks.
That's
If I'm
possible.
okay, because
That's possible.
again, I know I ain't been in the game for a long time, but I'm going. Not the switch, but it's like your Tibbs and Josh Hart, right? Josh Hart is allowed to play 40 some odd minutes and stack all of them things and do all of be under the board when he should be guarding the leak and this that and that. He's allowed to do that because of Tibbs, because of the system.
Right.
I thought that this man played the way he did because he was allowed to.
And
right?
let's not get it twisted. And there's no knock against conferences.
Okay.
The Big 12 is not the Big 10. It's not the SEC.
Okay.
It's I just looked it up. Predominantly, most of the teams in the Big 12 are good college basketball teams.
Okay.
You got Baylor, you got BYU.
Right.
Colorado ain't one of them in basketball. But again, in college football, it gets spooky if you don't really watch because again, the Big 12, you might rack up 1,400 yards receiving. Because we know, first of all, we know Colorado had to score and had to run offense because their defense sucked.
Yes, sir.
We watched that for the last 2 years. They didn't have a good defense, so they were steadily, they were like the running rebels in football. We got to outscore everybody. So the kid had, a lot of time on the field. But here's the funny thing, guys, and I'm going to leave this here.
Okay.
If you're playing each offense, defense, let's just go 4 and out on both ends of the ball. You're talking about maybe 15 minutes of real time taking away a punt. Take away a punt. This kid's on the field for 15 to 18 minutes constantly until a timeout. Somebody getting hurt. That clock is always ticking. All right, I think you said it when we first started this. It's football, man.
Yeah. There you go.
One block.
There you go.
Yeah, one block on your ass going downfield for a tackle, or one whack
back on the sideline
to the sideline for a pass.
But look, I remember that. I remember. Look, I mean, I know first stringers that didn't play every down, right?
Come on,
right? Reggie White would be in that first and say he make a stop. He get a little breather for that third down. You know what I'm saying? And come back and have a solid showing on that third and short or whatever.
Taking nothing away from this guy.
Right.
Is he Desmond Howard? No,
I can't. Yeah,
no.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm not going to say.
He's not Desmond Howard, and Desmond Howard didn't play. First of all, Desmond Howard was smart, and then again, Desmond Howard played in a football conference,
right?
So he took some whack, and he ran back punts.
But he knew. Dom. Of course, I remember. He knew.
I'm pretty sure athleticism. Desmond Howard could have played both sides of the ball. Of course, he was very athletic. Nobody could really stop him. But again, to your point, he's probably thinking, man. First of all, they didn't recruit me as a cornerback,
right?
I mean, so why would I want to push this envelope? And again, he's
and that's
in the
exactly
Big Ten.
what it is.
He played in the Big Ten, Ohio State, Michigan State, Penn State. He played in that in-your-face football conference. So
there you go. There you go.
So, and that's what I'm saying. Like in the if somebody wherever they looking at him at, right? What are they looking at him for?
That's what I don't know. Live. I was getting ready to say that.
Okay. Right.
I don't even know what they basically are going to draft. Well, he didn't get drafted yet, so
not yet. But
exactly. Live brings up a good point.
It is a good point.
What are they going to draft him at, Live? Quarterback.
What they got to do, they better have a sit down with this boy.
Yeah.
Those prospective teams that are looking to draft this kid, they got to sit down. It's like, listen, man, we're not on that whole ultimatum of we're not with that of I got to play both sides of the ball. What side are you picking? What side? Right. What are we taking you as? They got to have that conversation.
You better
top,
get your
top
rap skills up, nigga, because
he's going top 3, guys.
Oh yeah,
now,
yeah.
I
There's
don't
no
know
question
what
about
he's
it.
going at, but he's
see
going top 3.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. And you, I know that the need for him, if he go top 3, that team got to beat it, and they got to need him for that. So what does
that's
he go
another
at?
good point, Live. That's another good point. What
Right.
need is the team that's drafting him need?
Right. And
do
is
they
they
need
at
a
3?
wide receiver, or do they need a cornerback?
Right.
Because I don't think any team guy honestly is going into it saying, "Man, I want to draft RS both," because they've been in the NFL a lot longer than this kid, and they know the NFL better than all of us on this line.
Right.
So they're thinking, man, one whack. This, I mean,
yeah,
they goes out draft pick.
Right. My thing is they knew that those teams know their needs, right? So is Travis Hunter the number one? Is he a first round top 10 whatever position pick? Right, whatever he do, is he so valuable that they got to get him that early? Because again, we know we didn't what was the quarterback that backed up Jerry Rice and the quarterback that what's his name? God, he was on the bench when
Montana was
Jerry
the quarterback.
Rice was quarterback.
You talking about Steve Young?
Steve Young. Didn't they draft Steve Young late?
He got traded. He went to Tampa Bay first.
Okay.
He got drafted by Tampa Bay and then traded to the 49ers.
All right.
He played for Tampa Bay.
And it might be Aaron, like the one we was talking, the cat that just was on the Jets, Aaron.
Oh, whatever.
That was on the bench first. Yeah. Like that was there mad early before he got his burn. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just going. I don't understand who he is and how good other teams think he is at whatever dual position he talk. He's confusing me.
Well, let me just say this. Let me bring the Bishop in. Your mic is live, Bishop. Welcome to Untitled. Thanks for joining us. How are you, sir?
Can you hear me?
Bishop.
Yeah, what's up, fellas?
What's up, boy? All right.
I'm pulling a reg today. I'm in my vehicle.
Turn the camera on. Let's see where you're at.
Yeah, you can't see me. It's dark in here.
It's dark.
The only thing you'll be doing is looking up my nose.
That's all right. We'll pass on that.
Are you in Charlotte, Bishop?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm home.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So, Bishop, as you heard, we was just talking about this guy Travis Hunter and his desire to be a two-way player, and that if he doesn't get his wish, whatever team that drafts him, he's going to quit the sport of football.
That's crazy.
Did he say that, or is somebody?
No, he said it, Bishop.
He said it, sir.
Yeah, he said it.
Yeah, okay, all right. Until he get hit.
Right.
Funny you mentioned that.
Exactly.
Until he get hit by that 6'6", 355.
Yeah.
Until he get hit by that dude, and be like, yo, you know what? I may have misspoken.
Let me back this up.
Misspoken.
Right.
Where my agent at? Like, how could you allow me to speak like this?
How you speak?
I'll tell you what, Bishop. I was saying it before you came on. I'd be more afraid of him getting cracked on like a running play. Like Bishop said, he comes up for a run, and Bishop's 325 lineman flattens his ass. Yeah, you're right, Bishop. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. How do I do this?
Yeah, exactly.
Now what?
Like, then he turned into what's that dude from Tampa Bay, the one who talking about the NFL is rigged, and he's an English actor, and what's that dude?
Oh,
who the hell was this?
Who's that?
AB.
Antonio
Brown.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's another thing.
That's
coming as Travis Hunter. and get hit a couple of times and then turn into fucking Antonio Brown. Like, yo,
running off the field,
Hey,
butt naked.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, hell no. Sorry, guys. No.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Well, with that being said, let me switch lanes. I'm gonna do something different this time. I'm gonna do a little basketball, and then I'm gonna go to baseball. Then I'm gonna get back to the basketball to close out the show. So, with that being said, I have to put this out there.
Oh no.
I had to put, I had to put it out there. I'm hearing. I know it's rumors. I know it's rumors. I know people been talking about it, and you know what I'm saying? They say, oh, the Knicks are gonna, if they lose in the first round, oh, we're gonna change up the squad and we're gonna go after this guy. First of all, no, I don't like that. I don't like it at all. One, yeah, he's gifted as a scorer. Go ahead, Bishop.
What are you talking about? I gotta hear what you said.
Oh, I thought you was chiming in. I'm sorry. No, he's talking about Kevin Durant to the New York Knicks. They're trying to make this
Hell no.
That's what I said.
Hell
No.
no.
And I'm a Durant.
Hell no.
Y'all heard me last night defending Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a Kevin Durant guy,
Hell
man,
no.
but no, he don't fit with us. Sorry.
You damn crybaby.
And you're 30 and you're 36.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't even
And you're
matter.
36.
It don't even matter. It don't even matter. It don't even matter. It's like when you had an opportunity. When you had an opportunity to join the squad, you snubbed your nose.
Right. That too.
You know what I'm saying?
That right
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Stay out in the desert thirsty. And, how could you even bring this up? Like I just recently
son, they was beating this hard. They was beating this hard.
They really was.
They was beating this hard.
Yeah.
They was beating this hard.
Remember when he said the Knicks ain't fun?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh no, he violated the Knicks 100 times, kid. Like fuck that dude. I'm like, look.
What are you in a circus?
The reason why I chose Brooklyn is because I like the way they handle business. I like the way they handle business. New York is not, this and that, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, fuck out of here.
And I'm from Brooklyn, right? And I'm like, fuck out of here, B. I'm like,
look. At this point is a pack of wet tube socks.
Right.
That's it.
Right. Nobody wants you, my guy. Nobody. I think you just drumming that up because you don't want somebody else getting it. You know what I'm saying? Or you trying to make it. Right. I don't look.
I think he knows he's going to get traded. I know he knows that.
Well,
they're going to break up that band, and he's the easiest guy to trade because he'll be the most wanted player, believe it or not, whether you like him or not.
For sure.
Whether it's the Knicks or the Saudi Arabia Sabres, he's the most attractive guy coming off that squad. So he knows he's going somewhere. So now we got to add all the extracurricular BS and bro. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if he ended up somewhere like San Antonio. Because if the NBA is going to hold true to these tablecloths, napkins, and all this good shit, then he's going to be limited with that contract to where he goes. This guy's making a ton of money, fellas.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's making more than Cat.
Right. So if you're he's making more than Cat now. Cat's going to be making $60 million in a minute. But again, he's going to be limited to where he goes. So let me throw some, and I don't even know if it's him with this rumor of going to the Knicks. And you know how these guys are. It gets
I know.
That you know what? I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna stop because I'm getting tired of the NBA. The NBA will come up and defend so much fuckery, and then try to redo the fuckery when it comes to the interest in the NBA now. The watching, the ratings, the this, the that. Some people say there's too many 3-pointers. No, I think it's a lot of bullshit y'all create that fans are just so fed up hearing this nonsense. Like I said last night, guys, I have not watched 1 minute of these playing games.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna, to be honest.
Missed out, baby.
You missed a good one in that Magic one wasn't bad.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Magic and the Hawks wasn't bad.
The Magic. Don't be surprised if the Magic stretch the Celtics out.
Yeah.
I ain't saying they're gonna beat them. I ain't saying they're gonna beat them, but
they beat them 2 out of 3 times this year.
So what you saying, Bishop? 6-7 games,
I like
possibly?
how the Magic played them. Yeah, I like how the Magic played against because they got the height.
Yeah.
They got
do.
somebody.
And they got the
athleticism.
defense.
And they one of the best 3-point defensive players.
Yeah, they play defense. And here's the last caveat I'll say about Orlando. By golly, did they get healthy at the right time?
Right.
Yeah.
And we're talking they're missing Suggs, and they're gonna miss the other Wagner for the rest of the year. They've been out for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But did they put the pieces together at the right time? And again,
but they got the 2 that count.
Yeah,
they got the 2 that count.
2 out of 3, and I'll tell you what, they have a really good bench.
Mm-hmm.
Their bench contributes. They're like the Houston Rockets, just a little younger and not as experienced. I'll tell you what, guys, not to get off, but Detroit, Orlando, Houston already made my dream come true because I told Steve and Av earlier last summer, and live, the Rockets ain't going to be no playing. They're going to be a playoff team. I didn't say they was going to be a number 2 seed. I'm not going to go that far.
They're about to get spaced by the Warriors.
Yeah.
About to get bugged.
Who? They're going to beat the Warriors at 5.
Nah.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that later. The Warriors don't stand a chance against them. I'm sorry, but I don't want to get to that subject. Yeah.
Nah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Mm-hmm. So,
but Orlando, like I said, they beat the Celtics. Take it for what it's worth. They beat them 2 out of 3. And guess what? One of those games, or maybe 2 of those games, they didn't have Wagner. They didn't have Pablo. So,
because he was hurt too.
They're well coached, and they got a good bench. So, and they play defense.
Yeah.
Are they going to beat the Celtics? Probably not.
No. The problem that they have is in crucial moments, they make bonehead mistakes.
Yeah, it's you.
Crucial moments. It's like, they'll be playing good all game, and then like somebody will just do something. It'll be Wagner or Paulo. It's like,
especially them Wagner brothers.
Yeah,
they're bonehead.
Like, what was that? Like,
bonehead. But they emotional just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? They don't play. They don't play.
Anthony is playing really well.
Yeah, Cole Anthony
is playing really well.
He's playing really well.
Guards that come off the bench that get after it. So
they got a good bench, guys. Just like the Rockets.
Give the Celtics a hard time. I don't think they'll beat them, but they'll give them a hard time.
I think it could possibly go 7.
And that's what I keep saying about the Rockets. The Rockets can throw 10 guys at you.
I hope it goes 7. Yeah, I look.
The Rockets, but the Rockets, the problem that the Rockets are going to have is they're going to have to dedicate somebody to Jimmy Butler, and if they put Dylan the villain on him, he's going to foul out. Then you got the forward. You got that versatile forward. It's like, he can't guard Curry and Jimmy Butler. He can't guard the 2 of them. And now the other players like Pajinski and Moody and all of these guys have really started like picking their play up and playing at another level. So it's like, I don't know, and I don't know if you saw the last couple of games of the season, but Udoka was talking shit to Curry. Like, he was like,
that's his mantra, man. That's what I love about him.
Udoka was ready to pick up a ball. He was going to serve his stuff.
Here's the thing, Bishop. The Rockets are one of the few teams that could throw multiple players at multiple positions at you. Their bench can probably be some starting team's 5. Like their power forward is at least 3 deep. Their point guards at least 3 deep if you throw in Aaron Holiday.
But everybody
they are depth personified at every position on the team. Like I said, they could run 10, 11 players per night. And you know what? I said this last night. I said it a couple of times with Live and them. They just feed off of how their coach acts. They are a mirror image of his ass. You know,
right.
Like we might be young, but we ain't taking that nonsense.
Right.
Because you remember last year.
And Udoka got a uniform up under the sweater.
Hey,
He's ready to play.
Yeah, they just take on his action, and you know what, guys? For whatever it's worth, they're the second seed. They won 52 games. Right. Warriors were a play-in team.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I told you guys last night. I don't know if you were there, Art.
Yeah, I was there.
If the Rockets stop one of the two or slow them down, if they stop Butler, Curry ain't beating you by yourself. If they stop Curry, Butler ain't beating you by yourself. So they don't have many other real bona fide offensive options after that. Yeah, the Rockets can throw. Yeah. Like I said, guys, the Rockets got, believe it or not, they got Steven Adams that can still come off the bench, get you 10 rebounds, and knock somebody's ass around for a good 12 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't realize how deep they were, guys, until I looked at their roster.
Yeah.
And I mean, these guys are playing 16 to 22 minutes. Their backup power forward, Jabari Parker. Parker. This dude's playing like 29 minutes. And he's a backup, averaging 12 and 7. As a backup. And he was a lottery pick, guys, if y'all remember. So
talking about Jabari Smith. Right?
Excuse me, Rob. Yeah, Jabari Smith.
Jabari Smith.
Yeah, these guys would look at their team, and all of them were lottery picks.
Yeah, so when you mentioned like Golden State was a play-in, so the difference between the number 2 seed and the play-ins, I think, was like 3-4 games. They were all stuck. They were like 6 teams that were in like 1 or 2 games of each other.
Yeah, nobody was catching Houston.
I'm just saying there wasn't. And how many games did Houston win? Didn't Golden State win like 49 games?
48. 48. Houston won 52. And Houston had a games. Houston had a hiccup, and Houston bounced from what was it like? They was beneath the Lakers, Denver, and the Clippers at one time. So they hit their high at the best time of the season. Again, you don't become the number 2 seed by accident. I mean, not in the Western Conference. That's another thing you got to look at.
4 games between the 2nd and the 7th seed. That's not a big gap.
It sounds like a clusterfuck.
Right, it's not, but you got to take into consideration. Like I said, you got your highs and lows during the season, but the biggest thing is not only does Houston outscore them, I said it again last night, they're one of the rare teams in the NBA that average giving up less than 110 points. I know that sounds weird in today's NBA, but if you're giving up less than 110, you're playing considerable the NBA standard right now. You're playing good defense. And the thing about Houston, and I think we said, they just play hard, guys. It's like they go out there, and whoever's out there, they're playing hard for 48 minutes. Right. Ain't no letting up. Ain't no more we're the young guys on the block. They're really, like I said, I had picked them making the playoff. I am not going to go overboard and say that it was going to be a 2 seed, but Lord have mercy. And again, they're like Orlando. They gelled at the right time.
Yep.
Right.
Orlando, I'll tell you who's going to be scary. Orlando, Houston, and Minnesota. Those 3 teams seem to have gelled at the perfect time of the season.
I'm going to log out and log into my computer. I'm home now.
Okay, bro.
Okay. Yo, you mind if I ask a question?
Please do, brother. Please.
Did you hear? Because I know he's talking about Durant. Now we all over the place.
Oh yeah,
it's all good. It's all good. That's how it is, man.
All right. Okay. So, did y'all check out what Randall said today?
No.
Nah. What did he say?
More or less, not verbatim. He said he got more to play for now in this playoff than he ever did in his career. And he didn't say anything about his health. He said the coaching staff. Right.
Well, you know
That's
what?
what
I'm a Julius Randle guy. I like him, but
I love Julius.
Guess what
Randle.
else Julius Randle is playing for?
Contract.
Yes, check. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Bishop. A contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing
Okay.
for a check. I just was like, I was like, dog, you was unavailable like 3 of them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, on your own volition. Matter of fact,
their
the
coach
first one
believes
you
in
didn't
him.
show up. One
Right.
of them he didn't show up.
Right.
Right? He was there and didn't show up. And that was the Knicks we had Knicks with Alfred Payton.
Yeah, but their coach believes in them live. And guess what? During that span of 55 games, when they were the best team in the NBA, he was a part of it. He came back during that stretch. Him and DiVincenzo.
Son,
I mean, you gotta think of something. Between the Knicks, of course, we gotta do it, guys, because it was the trade. The Knicks traded Randle and DiVincenzo, and the Knicks walked away with +2.
Right.
They only had 2 more wins than Minnesota. And
Minnesota
had some serious injuries.
You're talking to the choir. I didn't necessarily want the trade to go through, not that trade.
Right.
I wanted them to run it back.
As much as I like
Randle,
guys, I would have been for Randle for Towns. When they threw in DiVincenzo, now you take away our 2 guard, and because guys, we got to be honest, it's a rare occasion that Leon Rose and them got hoodwinked during the trade, but they got hoodwinked this time.
I don't know.
No deal. We're taking
I don't know about
$60 million
that.
worth of contract.
I don't know.
You ain't getting no extra part.
I don't know about that.
I wouldn't say that.
When the last season that Randle was here, Randle was having a problem adjusting to the fact that it's Brunson's team now, and I think that there would have been issues where lack of effort. There would have been issues of chemistry. There would have been a lot of issues with Randle not being like that first option.
With that too, Bishop, right? Because they was that.
But again, Bishop, I'm conceding the Randle for Towns as much as I like Randle.
Right.
You can't ask for extra parts when I'm taking a $60 million contract.
Well,
how did they hoodwink DiVincenzo in this deal? It was a rare occasion where Leon Rose got beat.
We got bamboozled on that.
I think they were looking at. No, I'm saying I think they were looking at Towns' playoff performance and saying, "Hey, if we could get this, if we can get that cat in the playoffs, we got a chance to go."
Somebody better look at his stats in the playoffs.
We got. I'm just saying in the Eastern Conference.
The finals, right?
About what he done in
Eastern Conference Finals, he showed out.
But I'm just saying, if we get that kind of,
I know dog. I'm not saying because he was. He had one. I think that was his series. Like I don't think he was good
against Dallas.
Denver.
Okay.
No, when they lost to Dallas in the conference finals last year.
Right, but I'm saying against Denver, he showed out.
Okay.
He showed out against Denver. And so I'm thinking that maybe they thought
last year, we're talking last year, right?
Last year.
Yeah. Best playoff performance ever.
Yeah, if we got that cat in the playoffs.
Right, but
still this IQ stuff, it's like you always know like there's gonna be some lapses where he runs out past the 3-point line and slaps the guard trying to reach for the ball. Something stupid. But I see what you're saying. I get that point. Like I wouldn't have broke up the band.
But would you rather have him and his little nonsensical drives to the basket or Randle diving in the damn paint and spinning and throwing it over his fucking shoulder?
Let me get to one point, guys. Right. Even counting last year, the way we think he turned into Willis Reed coming out of the locker room. He's on average of a -6 to a -8 in points scored regular season to postseason.
Wow.
But if you pair him
his shooting percentage
Brunson,
goes down 8 to 9%. His 3-point percentage goes down 12 to 11 to 12%. So
Wow.
he's no playoff stud. No. He had a good run last year, and I'm telling you, even last year, his playoff performance was less than his. This was his playoff performance and his lack of defense and basketball IQ have been the knock on him his whole career. Guys, come on. We didn't just start hearing about Karl Anthony Towns when he played for the Knicks, did we?
Yeah,
I mean, we all follow basketball.
We didn't care.
Right.
We didn't give a shit.
You know what I'm saying? He out there.
That's been the knock on him, guys. His playoff performance, his lack of defense. And I've said this a million times, and it sounds like a dead beat, but there was a reason Minnesota bankrolled their future to get Rudy Gobert.
Right. So let's bring it back around. 36-year-old. You already know I don't want Kevin Durant, but do we, you know what I'm saying, make that trade so we can get up off of that 50 mil, 60 mil early?
Ooh, Towns?
Yeah. Trade what's going for Towns and don't re-sign Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I can tell you where Kevin Durant needs to go.
San Antonio.
No, to hell. To hell.
Where's he need to go?
To hell. That's where he needs to go. Word up.
Hold on. Let me take time. Hold on, gentlemen. Let me take time to bring in Rob. Oh, Rob just let they leave.
Oh, who's the other Rob?
Yeah, there was two Robs, so one Rob left. Unless it was Rob. Your mic is live whenever you want to talk. Because it's muted right now. But he's
the other Rob was from last night, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm here. I just came in under the app instead of the.
Well, welcome to Untitled, Rob. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thank you, Robert.
You know.
Well, where did Bishop say Durant's going? He didn't.
He's going to hell.
He's going to hell.
Going to hell.
Oh, come on. Let him answer it.
He said he was going to hell.
Where you going, Bishop?
No, I'm saying he needs to go to hell. That's where he needs to go. We don't need him.
Say that.
Yeah.
No, you know what I was saying, Bishop, before you came on? If the NBA is going to hold true to this napkin, tablecloth, aprons, his options are going to be limited with the salary he has. Yeah. I don't think no team is going to bankroll X amount of players to get to his contract.
Right.
So that's the reason I said San Antonio, because right now they're not strapped for money. They're only paying Fox and Wembanyama.
It's only a couple of teams out there that got that money. It might be two. You know? So he's stuck in all kind of purgatory. You know what I'm saying?
Leave Kevin Durant alone.
What about you?
Send him to Sacramento. Send him to Sacramento.
Or Bishop, Sacramento.
They looking to break that up. They looking to break Sac up. Pause. Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
I was trying to hold on for Av to come on because the next topic
Soto joint, right?
Yeah, bro. I can't wait all night. So
let me just say this before we go.
Go right ahead.
Kevin Durant next year, $51,179,021.
That's crazy.
At 36 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, he's still a scorer, but who's gonna? You got to trade a lot of players, guys, to get to 51 million. Yikes!
Yeah. Well, you brought up
him and Cat is damn near washed.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I'm about to say you brought up Cat.
Yeah, well, no, we ain't doing that.
We're not doing that.
As much as I think Cat got a basketball IQ of an English muffin, I ain't doing that. No, I'll stick with his basketball IQ.
He's not that bad. He's not
some nights it's like, you know what? If we could just separate that part of himself, Cat, from the offensive and the two left feet, Cat.
No, the hook on the drive. What is that?
Yeah. And the constant crying for fouls.
Oh,
foul!
God.
Foul! That's a foul!
Somebody needs to slap the shit out of him and Hart.
Man, look, we all men here, right? We all men, and we know that dude is a sweetheart, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a sweetheart, and I'm like, Wow. Like
they got to stop that in the playoffs, guys. Believe me.
I'm just saying.
And you know what? Towns, again, unless you don't have league pass, and I get it, everybody don't. But if you've watched Towns over his career, this is who he is, guys.
Right.
Because he's a Knick.
We didn't know that.
Right. Because he's a Knick, we can't change his persona. Nah. He is who he is. After all of these years in the league, he is who he is. We just got to deal with it because he is what he is, and now he's a Knick. So we got to suck it up.
I don't like that getting the ball on the perimeter, like crossover and dribble between his legs. And somebody say,
to the
bodega, big bodega. Because
we going in. You know what I'm saying? I know Reg's gonna end off with it. So let's go in then. Let's go ahead. The baseball.
Let's get it. Dude,
is this the guy from the Mets?
Yes.
Is this the one that all the Mets fans were like, "Oh, you Yankees are jealous"? Is you Yankee fans are jealous that he chose us and not you?
But did you hear what he said, Bishop?
No, I'm just wanting to clarification before we.
Put it out there,
Yeah, let me tell you. Go ahead,
Let me tell you what this guy said, man. He had the nerve, the audacity, talk about because he's getting pitched differently than when he was playing with the Yankees. He had the pleasure of hitting behind in front of Aaron Judge, and he used to get more hittable pitches with Judge, you know what I'm saying, behind him compared to like Peter Alonso.
How was that possible?
Listen,
it's true.
It's true.
I mean, explain that to me. Like okay. I'm
let R finish first. Go ahead, R.
Well, here's the thing.
We'll catch live up on it.
Here's the thing. He's not seeing the same pitching, obviously, that he faced last year. Okay, they were much more aggressive in trying to get strikes compared to this year, where he's getting more walks. He's not getting the same nice pitches that And Peter Alonso, not for nothing, right now.
Say that again.
Yeah, right now he's having a pretty decent start, but he's not Aaron Judge.
No, he ain't even Pete Alonso. Let's keep it a buck, man.
Even though he got a nice little hot start. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes. You think he's gonna hit 354 all year?
No.
Guys don't hit more than 240.
Exactly.
And not to cut you off, this is the, I don't want to say the joke behind all of this, but it's true. I mean, you got it. And I'm not saying this because I'm a Yankees fan. I say this all the time, guys. Numbers don't lie. People lie with numbers.
Right.
Aaron Judge is still, to this day, him and Ohtani are the two best offensive players in Major League Baseball. Point blank, period. Not because I'm a Yankee fan.
No, but it's
because of what they do.
Exactly.
And now you're thinking life is going to be the same when they could pitch around you and say, you know what?
Yep.
Sooner or later, the balloon is going to pop on Pete Alonso. He's going to go back to being Pete Alonso, even if he has a breakout season.
Right.
A breakout season for him would be 260 and probably strike out 200 times. So you think life was going to be the same batting in front of him than it was Aaron Judge? I will say this, guys. I am so sick of hearing this guy talk. Just shut up. Just shut up.
Did he say that they were a championship team?
You know what? He said a lot of things, Bishop.
Yes,
but you know what we said when he got traded? Hey, I know I did. Hey, you know what? You said you were going to the highest bidder. God bless you. You did that. Now move on with your life. Just move on with your life. We're the Yankees. We're going to be the Yankees with or without Soto. The Mets are still the Mets. The Mets, believe it or not, as soon as Atlanta starts playing baseball and gets healthy, mark my words, I told y'all after the trade, they're still the third best team in their own division.
Right, Dom. Dom, you know what I find amazing?
For $1 billion.
You know what I find amazing?
Yes.
This dude is 15, maybe 16 games into a 15-year contract.
Good Lord.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Lord.
15 games. You're not even in a season yet.
How much?
15 games. Not even that.
What was the contract?
Hold on.
15 years. 15 years.
How much?
$765 million.
You said 7?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yo.
$765 million.
We're 18 games in,
You winning. It doesn't matter. You win.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean, Bishop. You're winning. Just shut up, because you're not making the Yankee fan mad. I always say this: we're going to be the Yankees, irregardless. The Mets have to prove that they're not the Mets. They had a good little run in the playoffs last year, but at the end of the day, guys, they're still our baby brother playing in Queens, with or without Soto. Just shut up, man. You had me saying, "Oh, you said the highest bidder. You did that." Just go away now, man. Nobody wants to hear you no more. Yes, sir. Yes, Bishop. I'm sorry.
Dom, I agree with that assessment, the baby brother, but it's an outside child baby brother.
Yeah, Bishop. I'll go back to that night I came in on y'all clowns late, and they were picking on you, talking about the Mets and the Yankees.
Yeah.
And now you got this guy. You chose this.
Yes.
And you know what? I keep saying it, guys. I'm happy for the kid. I am not one of those bitter beer Yankee fans. Mm-hmm. You said from the jump street, here's a guy that bet on himself in Washington, in San Diego, and the Yankees. He bet on himself the whole time, guys, and he won. Right. Now just shut up and go away. That's all. Just shut up, man.
Well, it's not going to be the end. It's not going to be the end.
He said he was going to a championship team.
Yeah, and the highest bidder. He got one thing right.
The highest bidder, I remember. Right. I don't know about that championship team. Hold on.
He won a championship every time he get paid.
You know what else he said?
Yeah.
The Yankees don't have a lot of good young talent. Like the Mets or who? The 73 Oakland A's? I mean, really? Where are you getting this shit from? Again, just shut up, man. You're winning. Your family got a clothing allowance, a suite. You won, man. Now just go away. Go. I said this too, guys. Again, without the money, this guy has never won a batting title, a home run title,
he's won a bat. No, hold on, Dom. He's won a batting title.
Okay, yeah, he won a batting title. He's never won an MVP. You know damn well he ain't never won a Gold Glove, and he ain't never gonna win a Gold Glove. But that being said, if he was Aaron Judge getting that money, I would say, you know what? All right. Because Aaron Judge, believe it or not, guys, whether we like him or not, his non-participation in the postseason, he's worth the money Soto got. He's proven that. But, hey, God bless you, man. Now just shut the up. Nobody wants to hear the shit no more, man.
Dude, you're hilarious.
See, first of all, Soto's striking out. He has more strikeouts in the first 11 games this year than he had last year. So you can't say that they're pitching around him as much. Secondly, Judge has shown without Soto in front of him, he's literally killing. So, comparatively. So everything that he said is blatantly not true. But he misses the team that he had because he knows what the team is. So to me, you chose this. It was your option.
Right.
So if you made your choice, then do it and just don't say anything. That's the way I look at it.
But the one good thing, Rob, that he did say, and probably hence the reason he has more strikeouts, because he don't have Judge behind him. So he's got to press more because they're actually throwing. I would venture to say, guys, I haven't watched a lot of Met games this year, and I have the baseball ticket. But I would assume that a lot of his strikeouts, swinging strikeouts, have been pitchers outside the zone.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to pitch to him. They will take their chances pitching to Mr. Live because that's not Aaron Judge. That's the one thing he said, which I wish he wouldn't have said because he sounds like a clown because he ain't batting in front of Judge. So his batting is – but that's what you chose. Didn't you look at their lineup before you signed with them? No, you didn't because you was going to the highest bidder.
You looked at the money, Dom.
Exactly.
He looked at the money.
Yes. Come on, man. Come on, guys. And I'm not that guy. I'm not as deep as Bishop. I do not hate the Mets. But I would have looked at their lineup and said, hey, Mr. Live, Bishop, I don't know about this shit.
Right.
The Yankee salary was, comparable. The years might have been less, but the money was comparable.
What was it? The money was like $760 from the Yankees end.
Yeah, come on.
Right.
They're talking about $5 million.
Could I ask a question?
Please.
Wherever he went, he'd have been batting cleanup regardless, right?
No.
No,
He'd have been batting third.
he'd have been batting.
Second.
Okay, so he'd have been batting third wherever he go.
Yeah.
So wouldn't this be like a universal point? Like son, you getting pitch hit, like everybody pitching to you different now because you don't got this dude in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why complain about it?
He bats second, and Judge was batting third. Because remember, guys, we're all Yankee fans. Before the Yankees got Soto, Judge was batting second, and I think some of us was kind of baffled by that to begin with. But so when he goes to the Yankees, they move Judge to third and him batting second, which he, I think, always batted second. He is a pretty good contact hitter. But again, when you don't have Ohtani, a Judge, a Mike Trout in his heyday, when you ain't that guy, and we're baseball people, guys. I know I am. If you ain't got that dude behind you, they're throwing you a lot of junk pitches. So now you're pressing because you're not getting a good pitch, so you tend to chase more, and hence the reason he's batting about 211.
And why are you pressing? You're pressing because of that contract.
Exactly, that too.
You're pressing because of that contract.
Yes.
Yep. So
but if you start drama 15 games into the season, what does it say about your teammates? And this is just 15 games into the season.
Yeah, that too, Rob. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're about to throw everybody. 21. You're about to throw everybody under the bus. Yo, these guys ain't shit.
Yeah. God bless them, man. I mean, you got your money. Shut up. 18 games in, you got dissension, and I would venture to say, guys, at 18 to 22 more games, Pete Alonso will turn back into Pete Alonso. And then what are you going to say? Now they really can throw you junk pitches.
This is really going to be interesting.
He said, yo, he is now regretting the fact that he took $5 million more.
No,
he didn't say that, Bishop, but he
didn't say that.
No, I'm just saying.
I know what you mean.
That's what it sounds like. It's like,
oh shit. Maybe and you know what? Again, with this petty shit, like, do you think the Yankees would have just bluffed on not giving his family a suite? I mean, I do know how the Yankees are. Like, Derek Jeter does not have a suite. Paul O'Neill, David Cohn, some of them work for the Yankees. So
pay for a suite with $700.
Right, the Yankees don't just give shit like that away, But somebody brought that up. Well, they didn't offer his family a suite. But I did hear, man, in that contract, not money out his pocket, his family gets a clothing allowance.
Jesus.
So now your family can buy clothes and they got a suite, but you ain't shit.
Yeah, your team's gonna suck in about 10 minutes.
Wow.
So they're gonna have to suffer through. It's like, nah, we good.
Then you're gonna see the Beverly Hillbillies in the suite. He renting the suite out.
If you look at his contract,
subletting the suite.
If you really look at his contract, he ain't got to stay there that long. Not 12 years or something.
Right.
I think he got an opt-out clause after 4 or 5 or some.
That's gonna be utilized.
Yeah,
that's gonna be utilized. Because
I wouldn't utilize a motherfucking thing. Like I'm here.
But see, that's the thing, though. Live, if you don't, I'm not saying you don't know, you don't watch baseball.
No, I don't. Please,
here's the thing.
I don't.
The thing,
really don't.
He can
$720-something million.
Yeah, but he can opt out halfway through. So that means he got 300-something million, right? Let's just use even numbers.
Why would you do that?
He'll get 300-something million from somebody else.
Nah,
you don't want.
You ain't gonna make them a championship team in 15 years.
No,
he's not going to play 15 years. Remember, A-Rod signed that 10-year deal and opted out, and signed another 10-year deal. That's what they do. They opt out, so they get another giant deal with max money.
And he's still young. He's still a young dude. And I'll tell you what, he never had the pressure. Like, even when he came to the Yankees, we knew what he was, what he can do. We knew he couldn't play defense. We knew this and that. But we also knew that he might be gone at the end of the year. So he's never really played in a market like New York, for example, where he had that. Like, if he would have had that contract with the Yankees, we'd have forgot all about Judge not getting 55 hits in the postseason. They'd have jumped right on Soto's ass. This guy's making $160 zillion, and we lost in 5 games. No, we would have heard nothing, and he never knew that. The Nationals, which he was a part of their championship team. Let's not forget, he did win a ring with the Nationals.
Yes, he did.
But then he went to San Diego, and he got caught in, purgatory for a minute. And once he left, the Padres became a better team because now they got all these young players and they moved the poor guy that was blacklisted for about 2 years, Tatis. They moved him from shortstop to right field, and he's a pretty good defensive player.
Right.
So San Diego didn't lose, but either did Soto. That's what I always give him credit for, guys. He bet on himself, and he won, man. He straight up won, except for his mouth. He's winning financially. He ain't going to win baseball league, but he's winning the money battle without a doubt.
According to some of these Mets fans, they got the better of the deal, and he wanted to play with the better organization.
Yeah,
blah, 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 blah.
God bless
propaganda.
Yeah.
700 million propaganda. That's what.
And here we go. What is it? 15 games into the season?
Yes, 15, 16.
18.
Oh, 18.
Yeah.
18 games into the season, he copping the plea. He in the bottom.
And here's the I ain't gonna say saddest part, but the weirdest side is their owner. We all heard him for over the last year and a half, 2 years. I ain't afraid to spend money. I will spend all the money I can to make the Mets competitive. Okay, well, how's that working out for you so far? Again, the Mets went on a pretty good run last year in the postseason. They got hot at the right time, couple of great hits in the clutch. But come on, guys. If you pick them to go to the World Series last year, this year, next year, hey, I hope you get, $10 to every 50 cents you bet, but it's not a good bet. Because like I said, they're not better than Philly. They're not better than Atlanta. So where are you going?
Like you said, Dom, when Atlanta is ready to play ball and get healthy and whatnot, right now the Mets are sitting atop that division. I think like by half a game over Philly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Atlanta's in last place right now.
Right.
In the East. But that could change, obviously.
Change. We're in freaking April. Nobody even cares.
Exactly.
Right now.
Exactly.
What's the name still hurt? Acuno still hurt.
Right.
So that's a big part of their, But again, like Rob said, 18 games in. Get back with me at the All-Star game. Because the baseball season, the All-Star game, they try to make it halfway through the season.
Right.
Unlike the NBA. The NBA has the All-Star game. Then when they come back, it's like 5 minutes left in the season. Baseball is about halfway through.
Right.
So get back with me after
I hear
81 games.
Wow.
Then we could talk baseball. I mean, I could talk baseball all day, but
I'm sure. Exactly.
It's fucking April. Excuse me.
But real baseball to me always started July. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay, please.
Because when I was younger, the Yankees were like, 11 games out of first place?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden they went on that run and they kept winning. And so it didn't matter. Like everybody had the Yankees out way back when, and then they were in first place by the time the playoffs rolled around. So that's
even for us old guys, even the '69 Miracle Mets did that. The Mets came out of nowhere in 1969. The Black Cat crossed the path, ended up out of dugout, and the Mets went on to the World Series. And won the World Series.
Hold on. I gotta bring this guy in. See, I try to wait for you. Mr. Avenue. As you can hear, we are on the top of the So welcome to the show, brother. Good to see you. Talking about your boy Juan Soto. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to get it off your chest, bro.
All right, you know what, Mr. Juan Soto. When he first signed his big ass contract, I was happy for him because obviously being Dominican, being come from the country and everything, it's all good. I'm upset that he left the Yankees, but I was happy for him to make the money that he's making because if you can get anybody to pay you $765 million, Tip of the cap to him and to his agent, Scott Boras. But now that he's talking all this shit, after he's disrespected us. Well, first he dissed us. Then telling the media in New York City that this place is more of a Met town. Now, look, I have no qualms against Met fans because fuck, they're Met fans. They're whatever. You can love who you want to love. Hell, most of us love the Knicks, and that's another freaking, can of worms. But now, this is why I get so upset with Juan Soto. Because Met fans, media, and even he, in some way, shape, or form, wanted us to kind of get over the fact that he left us. We did.
Yeah.
I got over it really quickly.
Right.
I said what I had to say, got over it. I'm a Yankee fan. I'm like Dom. I will stay true to the Bronx Bombers no matter what. I don't care how many more championships the Mets fucking win. They can win it this year. I won't give a fuck. They're still 24 behind us. But now that he's struggling, now that he's having the freaking, the situation of being exposed for the fraud that he is, for being the overpaid, overhyped. I got it. Overpaid, overhyped, overexposed bum that he is. Now still talking about, well, when I was with the Yankees, I was seeing a whole lot more pitches. Well, no shit, Sherlock. You were batting in front of fucking Aaron Judge. Probably the greatest hitter of our generation, because let's be realistic. I know that, ever since Derek Jeter retired, we were always looking for the next face, and people were thinking that it may have been Bryce Harper, may have been Mike Trout, may have been this. No, shut the fuck up. It's Aaron fucking Judge, Captain America. He's gonna be, if things work out the way they do, and he doesn't get hit up with scandal, and he doesn't get hit up with injury, he doesn't get hit up with any kind of bullshit. This man is going to break that asterisk record that Barry Bonds currently holds. And it's going to be considered probably the greatest player since Babe Ruth, since Hank Aaron, since Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio. You can name him. He's gonna surpass them.
Wow.
Juan Soto could have been, I don't know, Roger Maris. He could have been the greatest Robin, the greatest 1-2 punch in history. You didn't do that. You went for the money. Don't tell me that you went to the Queens just because you thought that they were going to be a team that was going to, that is more ready to contend right now. With what fucking pitching? With what protection did they have for Juan Soto? And now he's being exposed. You should have never let the Yankees. It's even crazy to think because, now there's more news circulating after the fact. There was actually a team out there, I think it was the Toronto Blue Jays, they were going to offer him $800 million. He didn't take that money.
Wow.
He took $765 to go to the Mets. Why? He got comfortable in New York, but he didn't want the pressure of being a Yankee. Tell me the fucking truth. Stop telling me some bullshit. It's like, well, the Mets were just a better team. When have they ever been a better team? Not even when they won it in 1986 were they a fucking better team. Not even when they were in the World Series in 2015 were they the better team. This has been a Yankee town since 1903. It bleeds pinstripes. It will stay bleeding pinstripes. The Mets would have to win the next 30 World Series in a row to even come to within a fucking earshot of the Yankees.
Ooh.
And this, again, I'm not dissing any Met fan. If you're a Met fan, hey, God be with you. I tip my cap to you. You're loyal, you're cool and everything. And, hey, it was fun. I live in Queens, so I'm not too far away from Citi Field. I know how crazy they got last season when they got to the postseason. I understand. When the Mets are winning, oh, my God, this place does come alive. God bless you. Guess what? This place is always alive. It's always alive. And it's always alive because of that logo, because of those rings, because of those two stadiums, because of guys like Mariano Rivera, like guys like Derek Jeter, like guys like Babe Ruth, Don Mattingly. Tell me the last great Met that wasn't a Yankee. Tom Seaver? Gary Carter? Okay.
Wow.
You can't even say Doc Good and Darryl Strawberry because shit, people forget that they were Mets. They were so long ago. They remember that for winning the 1996 World Series with the New York fucking Yankees.
Woo. Man.
Juan Soto, keep our name out your motherfucking mouth. Enough is enough. You're a Met. You pissed on your bed, now lie in it. Go fuck yourself.
And ironically, I am wearing my 1903-2003 Yankee hat, the 100th anniversary of our great franchise. So,
I gotta tell you, during that rant, Av, there was just silence. You heard nothing but you, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was a little scary.
Welcome to the unhinged version of Untitled.
Yeah.
That was worth waiting for, brother. That was worth waiting for.
Stephen F.
I mean, for Christ's sake, why the fuck is it such a freaking surprise that him batting in front of Pete Alonso is not working out the same way as it did batting in front of Aaron Judge? Well, maybe because
we said that before you came on, Ab, and guess what? He's been fortunate, but we know Pete Alonso is going to turn into Pete Alonso sooner or later. So
I'm waiting for Pete Alonso to end up to becoming Edgardo Alfonso, and at the trail end of his career, because the reality is that Pete Alonso is a very good ball player. On any other team, he would be in the MVP candidacy race, at least in the talks, maybe not, the top 3, top 5, but this guy is he's a big deal. I'm a Pete Alonso guy if I like the Mets, which I don't. Right. But if I had to pick a guy, he's a guy I would definitely root for. But the reality is that, that Soto keeps talking, and it's like, dude, we don't know what you're trying to say. Just flat out say it. I regret leaving the Yankees and going to the fucking Mets.
Remember what I said.
I have a lot more respect for I'm just sick and tired of these fucking politically correct bullshit. I understand, Steve Cohen's paying you $765 million plus all the kind of perks and fucking this and this. He's probably giving you a fucking a 2-mile long limo and fucking box seats for your family, and the kids can fucking take a piss in their fucking ring of fame or some shit. I don't know. Whatever. But come on, if you're a Met fan, I love you. You're our little brother. But you know where the fucking beat starts and the beat ends. It starts and ends in that big ballpark in the Bronx. You just can't. When I came in, Don was just talking about when the Mets first got here back, 63, 64, something like that? And then they won it in 69? 62. There you go. What were the Yankees doing in 62? Oh, yeah, fuck. We were winning World Series, weren't we? Oh, shit. And I think at that point, that was like our 16th or 17th one. I'm not even sure. I had to go back to my banner, with the list of how many times we've fucking been champions.
Right.
And the kings of baseball and kings of sports, if you really want to think about it. But Juan Soto, you made a mistake. Just own up to it.
That's it.
Remember what I said,
That's
though.
it.
Pete Alonso is going to hit 240. We know that because that's who he is. I'm not knocking him. God bless him. He's going to strike out 150 to 175 times. We know that. That's who he is. And he'll hit you maybe 30 to 40 home runs a year. That's who he is. He's not a great defensive player.
No.
Which falls right in line with Juan Soto himself. Neither one of them are going to win a Gold Glove anytime in this decade.
Right.
But again, when that shit wears off, you think they're throwing you junk pitches now. Wait till Alonso starts hitting 240.
Yeah. Shit.
You're gonna be chasing shit in the dugout. You're gonna turn into Soriano.
Which he's doing right now.
Who was the catcher? Who was the catcher?
Wait.
So he's rag.
Wait till Soto
Sanchez.
gets that
Remember
one
Sanchez?
good week.
Remember Gary Sanchez?
Gary Sanchez. What about
swinging that ball in the dugout, couldn't hit a curveball to save his life? That's going to be Juan Soto chasing pitches because I don't have to pitch to you.
Wait till the moment that Juan Soto has like a good couple of weeks because he's going to have them. He's a phenomenal player. He's a great hitter.
Yes.
So he's gonna have a stretch where he's gonna be killing the ball, and then when he's gonna hit the slump, and then you're gonna run into August, September, and pitchers are gonna be picking up on what to do to pitch around him or pitch how to pitch him, and he's gonna be the guy that's gonna be straining runners in scoring position because he's gonna ground to the double plays because he's swinging and missing at everything. He's gonna be the same freaking right fielder that's gonna be skipping and dropping balls, out in right field. He's gonna be the same freaking Juan Soto that is gonna be overly exposed, and then eventually Alonso's gonna break down, but then he's gonna ask for more money because that's what guys do. If you're paying Juan Soto $765 and I'm protecting him, don't I deserve at least $500 million? I don't care if I'm 40 years old. Motherfucker, I'm protecting this asshole.
Wow. Wow. Dude. He's not going to be there long.
No, I'll give him 5 years.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Dom. He's not going to be there long.
I'll give him 5 years and he'll sell his soul. But then again, we started this conversation where you got to give credit where credit is due. Everywhere
Scott Boras.
Everywhere he's been, with or without Scott Boras, wherever he bet on himself. I'm not taking this because I want that, and I will wait to get this. Remember, he shortchanged himself in Washington, in San Diego, got traded to the Yankees, so we really never had to negotiate with him. We picked up his contract. But that being said, again, guys, I got to give credit where credit is due. He bet on himself, and he hit the jackpot. Now, is he worth that money? We all know the answer is no. Ain't nobody worth that money. No. Not into today's baseball, maybe. But we also know he'll do maybe 5 years, and then
they're gonna Bobby Bonilla's ass.
Yeah, where do I go now? He'll pick a team because he'll still be young. He'll probably just be 30 in 5 years. So shit, he's still in baseball life. He's fucking 20. 10 years from now, he'll be the best DH in baseball.
The crazy thing about this is I look at him and he's almost like how Mike Trout is right now. Like I mentioned earlier, baseball has been trying to make Mike Trout like the new face of baseball because of how gifted he is and how and all of that stuff. But let's be realistic. Mike Trout will never be shit if he stays in Los Angeles. He's never going to be shit. He'll just be always a good player. He'll be a Hall of Famer, but he'll never be, along the lines of, let's be realistic. Jeter, Mariano, Babe Ruth. He'll never be among those kind of guys because he'll always be on a team that never gets it right.
Right.
Now,
but the one thing about Trout, though, Av, is he was one of those guys that wasn't going to sell his soul to the devil to be that guy that baseball wanted him to be. There was a time for a long stretch, guys. He was the best player in baseball, probably one of the best players in baseball history. Injuries got him, but he never wanted to be that dude. He didn't want to be the captain of the Team USA. He just wanted to be. He always wanted to just be Mike Trout. And I'm telling you, guys, for 6-7 years, nobody could touch him. He was putting up numbers nobody put up in baseball history, not this generation, baseball history. But he never wanted that limelight. And that's why he said, you know what? For a guy that's playing in Los Angeles, he's playing in the greatest part of Los Angeles, where nobody really follows that part of LA. But to be in that market and to still be under the radar and do the shit he was doing offensively and defensively. Come on, guys. Let's keep it a buck. If you watch baseball, for about 8 years, he was the best defensive player in baseball. You could pick a position. He was the best He was the best defensive player. He was the best player, period. But his defense, his arm, his speed, he was something special, guys.
He was 5'2".
He was the best player. I'm a huge Trout fan.
Me too.
Liked him from
the 5'2" player, man.
You know, he's from the East Coast. You know, from
Jersey, I think, right?
Yeah, he's from Jersey.
Trevor?
South Jersey, but you know, close enough. So you know, but yeah, he didn't want to be the guy. But even if he did want to be the guy, outside of Los Angeles Dodgers and New York Yankees, are there any? There's very few and far in between that are those guys. You know, you can name it maybe in both your hands. It's legends are made on the Yankees and in the Dodgers. Outside of that, think about it. Think about how many names you can name of amazing players from the Yankees and then pick the guys from the rest of the league, especially in this era.
Yeah.
Ken Griffey Jr., Albert Pujols.
Alex Rodriguez, who actually became a Yankee.
Yeah, there you go.
That's another one, guys. Not to get off topic, but
David Ortiz, maybe.
Yeah, but he has. I always say this, guys, and I don't mean no disrespect. I said it on the Knicks and his show one night. Ain't no way in hell you're gonna tell me Derek Jeter was a better baseball player than Alex Rodriguez. I'm sorry. I know we love Jeter.
He wasn't. But he was a better winner.
Jeter had the better opportunity, of course, but I'm just saying pound for pound, player for player. If Alex didn't step on it, ain't no way in hell. With the numbers, I'm talking about Mike Trout. Look at Alex Rodriguez's numbers. Look at Alex Rodriguez's numbers before baseball knew how to spell steroids. And you can match his numbers up with, man, I don't know. Maybe
But I give you that because there was a lot of guys who people at the time were saying were better than Jeter. I mean, Garcia Parra for a while.
Larkin.
Yes, sir. Larkin,
yeah. There was quite a few guys that people were saying, yeah, Jeter's good, but look at these guys. And they put them, you know.
How many guys do you know, Rob, that can be a Gold Glover? And when he came to the Yankees, he said, I'll play third. And then won a Gold Glove there. I mean,
well, you know what? The thing
he was a special player, guys. Seriously.
No, I'm not taking anything. I'm not
Alex
taking
Rodriguez was a special dude,
not taking anything away from him. But again, you made that comparison. You brought up Jeter. Jeter was a gamer. That's the difference. He was a gamer.
He played for a better team. I'll give him that.
You know what?
I'm not taking nothing away from him, guys.
I still say he was a gamer because he always had these big moments. Always.
He was all right. But remember something, guys, and I'm not. We can go look at the numbers. The years that Alex Rodriguez had those bad postseasons, guess who was right next to him with a bad postseason, but wasn't making $27 million a year? Derek Jeter. I think we took what Alex Rodriguez was, and then what he didn't do, and then combined his contract. Because remember, guys, back then, Alex was the only guy making 25, 27 mil a year.
Right.
That's like peanuts in today's baseball. But again, that contract followed him. So everything he didn't do became so much more magnified.
Yes.
But then again, when they won their last World Series, who led them through that World Series? Alex Rodriguez.
Okay.
Yeah, but what about the PEDs? Because he was on them at that time too. I mean,
I'm not going to get into that because unless a scientist could tell me that taking steroids improves your hand and eye coordination, I don't want to hear that shit. And then again, I don't want to hear that shit because it took Major League Baseball 150,000 years to figure out, oh my God, these guys might be doing something. Then again, every sport has been slow to that ball game. Come on, chicks love the long ball. It brought fannies back in the seats. But you look at Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez wasn't no Mark McGwire. He wasn't no Sammy Sosa. He was Alex Rodriguez, with or without steroids. Point blank, period. Until you prove to me that it helps your hand and eye coordination, I don't want to hear that shit no more. I don't want to hear it. Because we don't know who was doing it. Hank Aaron and Willie Mays could have been doing steroids. We'll never know. We'll never know because baseball didn't want to face the shit.
The only thing,
Babe Ruth though did
Babe
hot
Ruth,
dogs
baby.
though.
Yeah.
He did hot dogs.
Yeah.
he did hot dogs and cheesesteaks.
And drank alcohol and went to the game drunk. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I always do the comparison. You know, especially since we're talking about A-Rod and Jeter, and it's like, all right, yes, A-Rod was a better baseball player than Derek Jeter, hands down. Better defender, better hitter, better home run hitter. He had a better arm. Whatever the case may be. What's the biggest argument whenever we talk about the greatest of all time in the Jordan LeBron talk? 6 rings versus this, that.
Right.
But deep down, the difference between Jordan and LeBron is that Jordan was the better winner. Derek Jeter has that facet about him. He is the better winner.
Right.
He is a clear-cut winner. He knows how to win. He knows what it takes to win, and he has won. You can't say that about a lot of other players because I think that's the biggest thing you can say about Mike Trout today. Mike Trout hasn't won shit other than individual awards. Bryce Harper, same thing. I mean, when you start to evaluate an individual in a team sport, the team success has to match at least a little bit, and that's the biggest knock for A-Rod. That's the biggest knock for Nomar. That's the biggest knock for for a lot of guys in that who played shortstop. When you compare them to Derek Jeter is probably the greatest winner. Whether you call it being fortunate, being lucky, or just had better opportunities. His individual success matches the team success, which at the end of the day, in a team sport, that's all that fucking matters.
In baseball, though, not to beat this horse to death, baseball is probably the hardest team sport for us to use that measuring stick of an individual because there's so many players. Like in basketball, you got 5 guys on your team on the court at one time. We all know only 2 of them are really, really good ball players, that maybe possibly one day be a Hall of Famer. So in basketball, you can have 2 guys that can lead you. In baseball, you got 9 guys, you got a pitcher staff. And again, Derek Jeter was blessed to be on a team that wasn't afraid. Look at what the Yankees did year after year. Cecil Fielder, David Justice, Strawberry, Clemens, Gooden, Cone. Look at all the people they bought in to help us to that finish line. Most teams, especially back then, could never do that. Right. They didn't have the money or the cachet the Yankees had to do that. And again, guys, I'm not taking nothing away from Jeter. You put Alex Rodriguez in that position when he came into baseball at 18 years old. Mm-hmm. How many World Series would he have won on the Yankees?
10.
8, 10? Yeah, 8 to 10.
Maybe. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the guy was just that talented, guys. I mean, again.
We don't lose no 1.
No, we don't. No.
Or no 3.
No.
Right.
No.
Right.
And you know what the difference with A-Rod was, and this is from his teammates, that he was not afraid to talk baseball. They said this dude would be in the locker room like 2 hours after the game, talking to the young dudes. Didn't even take a shower. He's just sitting there talking baseball for hours. And you saw that in him when he played. He was like that little kid that we played PAL baseball with. And he never grew out of it. He was super duper talented. But he stepped on it. And again, we look at all of this shit now. I always say this. Barry Bonds is the greatest player of my generation. For real. He's the greatest player of my generation. Because even if you take away post-steroids, he still won more MVPs than anybody else. Before they could spell steroids, he was Barry Bonds. He always was Barry Bonds. So because his head got a little bigger and he was hitting the ball further, he was still Barry Bonds, man. Come on, let's be honest. He was the best baseball player of our time. And here comes
Pete Rose. Fuck Barry Bonds. I'm sorry. He called me a cracker, so fuck.
Oh,
I like Pete Rose, but when it comes to straight up offense and defense,
No,
I gotta give the nod to Barry because he did so much, and I think what hurt Barry is his bravado,
arrogance.
Exactly.
Arrogance.
Like I don't give a shit because he would tell reporters, "I don't give a shit what you say. I don't gotta talk to you because I'm Barry Bonds, and I'm gonna be Barry Bonds tomorrow. I don't know what you're gonna be doing tomorrow, but I'm Barry fucking Bonds." And that rubbed people the wrong. I get it, man. It rubbed people the wrong way. It rubbed me the wrong way. I'm still a Yankee fan at the end of the day, so that kind of shit pisses you off. But was he lying? No. No.
Not at all.
He called me a cracker. That's why I'm not a fan. So I'll tell you the story. So when Florida got a baseball,
this one. Let's retell the story, baby. Let's go.
So I was living in Florida when the Marlins came into the league. So before the season started, before they even had they drafted, however they got Charlie Huff. I think he was their first pick. Before they even got him, they were bringing in all-stars to hype up baseball in Miami. So they brought in Benito Santiago and Barry Bonds on the same weekend. It was every weekend for like 2 months straight. And my son was 2 years old at the time, if I remember. My son was born in 90. So whenever the Marlins started, he was a little kid. So you go in, you buy a baseball or a bat or a picture, and then you go wait online, and then he signs it.
Right.
So now I'm carrying my son, who's little, and I'm holding all this stuff. So I go to Benito Santiago, and I'm there with my brother-in-law. He signs everything, no problem. Then I go, do you mind taking a picture with my son? He goes, no problem. So my brother-in-law goes, would you sign his arm and take a picture? So he signed my son's arm with a marker and took a picture. So then the next person, we went to the next line, is Barry Bonds. And we're going through the line. So now I'm still carrying my son, and I got all this stuff. So I put the baseballs come in a box. So I put the whole thing on the table. He goes, if you don't take the ball out, I'm just going to sign the box and you can move the F on. I was like, hold on, give me a second. So I opened the box. I took the baseball out and he signed it. And so my brother-in-law again goes, do you want to sign his arm? So he looks at me and looks at my son. He goes, I ain't signing his arm because you crackers will turn it into a tattoo.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Jeez. Wow. Barry being Barry, huh?
Yeah, that was bad. I thought that was gonna be good. That wasn't.
I'm not gonna say he wasn't an asshole, guys. I'm not saying that.
I'm gonna tell you like this. He's probably right. You probably would turn it into a tattoo because I know I would.
Right.
My son was only 2 years old. Come on, it wasn't my arm. It was my 2-year-old son.
People have done stranger things, Rob.
And I promise you, he does not have a tattoo of Benito Santiago.
But I don't know. I would have just done a onesie, maybe not the arm, but that's just me.
But you know what? I'm not defending him. We all know. We all watch baseball. He was probably the biggest asshole of our time.
Yeah, he's
bar none. Right. But he was also the best player of our lifetime.
Right.
So, again, would they be judging him differently, guys, if he was a quiet little guy out in Los Angeles named Mike Trout, where Barry just went out there and put up numbers, didn't say shit, ran to the side of the field and was signing autographs, high five.
Yeah, he'd have been the greatest motherfucker in the world.
Yeah, but he just wasn't that dude.
He was a dick. Right, he was a dick.
He was an asshole, man.
And what's kind of crazy is that's a lot of people would say that's the bigger reason why he's not in the Hall of Fame now more than the steroids.
Steroids, yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of crazy because if you compare that situation with like Roger Clemens or even Pete Rose, God rest his soul, Pete Rose was a dickhead, during his playing days.
Yeah.
But he has obviously have humbled himself. Obviously, being banned, had a lot to do with it. And he has humbled himself in his later years. And in the last 20 years, he was more or less a good sportsman, humanitarian, philosophical philanthropist and whatnot. But I mean, the fact that he's not in the Hall of Fame always makes me, look at the Hall of Fame, and I mean, you guys were talking about the the Basketball Hall of Fame at one point. I look at the same thing with baseball. Is like if the greatest strikeout guy and the greatest home run hitter of all time, they're not in the Hall of Fame, and it's because of political bullshit and not so much what was allowed during the time versus what's not allowed now.
Right.
I don't know.
If Barry Bonds would have retired in 2001 before we started testing, he had 6 MVPs.
Yes.
He would have been the first unanimous.
Exactly. He would have been in the Hall. If he'd have retired in 2001, his last MVP, he actually won it again in 2004, but here comes the steroid era, whatever. But if he retires in 2001, you're right, Av, he might be,
the first unanimous Hall of Famer. It wouldn't have been Mariano. It would have been him.
Right, because he changed, believe it or not, guys, as much as I do not like this guy, I feel like his lawyer. He changed the landscape of baseball when it came to hitting, fielding, Barry Bonds was still hitting 20, 30 home runs a year before his head got bigger. But he was, stolen bases. Now, he wasn't, Mike Trout in the outfield, but he was decent in the outfield. Mm-hmm. He was a decent defensive player. But again, guys, if he calls it a day in 2001, fucking dude's a Hall of Famer.
Easily.
And matter of fact, I talk about his glove. He still won 8 Gold Gloves. He did all of this shit, guys. I'm looking at it now. From 1990 to 2001, he dominated baseball. Dominated. 7 Gold Gloves, 6 MVPs, 12 Silver Slugger Awards before 2001.
Right.
Before that shit came to fruition. And the batting championship twice. For a guy that's hitting 30 home runs, he still won the batting title twice. Right. Let's not forget, Willie Mays' godson. I mean, how do you measure up to Willie Mays? Oh, you become Barry Bonds.
Exactly.
That's some shit.
Exactly. Wow. Well, Jesus. What can I
wanted to stay on late tonight, R. I mean, we're keeping you company, man.
It's all good. It's all good. I ain't mad. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
Yeah. I gotta,
Is Bishop still with us?
I think so.
He is. Yes, he is.
He's probably waiting for this part. That's why. A little basketball talk. All right, guys, let's get into it. Who do you have in the Western Conference? We got the Thunder. They don't have. It's to be determined, if I'm not mistaken, because they got the game tomorrow, between Memphis and I forgot who they're playing, but that's tomorrow on ESPN.
Who are they playing? I just saw it.
Yeah, so did I. Let me get it back here.
Memphis.
They're playing the Mavericks. Yeah, they're playing the Mavericks.
Mavericks, Dallas. Thank you. Appreciate that.
And then the Hawks and the Heat.
Yep. But in the Western, let's start off with that one first. Who do we have? Let's do the Nuggets and Clippers.
Are we gonna do like last night? Just give a
little something.
Fire take?
Yeah, a little rapid fire take. Nuggets.
My thoughts have not changed.
Oh, I think
Bishop wasn't with us, so
no.
You know what's funny is that there's going to be a part when we get to the Knicks talk, and there's going to be something that Bishop is going to be probably shocked to hear me say, but whatever.
Right.
But Bishop, if you heard me last night, I said something. Yeah, it's a cliffhanger. I said something on our spaces last night that let's just put it like this: it would make your eye twinkle.
Not Bishop's eyes, shit. You'd have to throw acid on that. Shit, y'all don't know Bishop. Shit.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Start it up, R.
Listen, I already started up, man.
Hot take.
Who are you gonna take?
Let Bishop go.
Okay.
Are you gonna break it down per game, R, or?
Maybe not per game,
matchup?
but yeah, just matchup wise.
We're going to the West.
Yeah, we're going Denver, LA.
Yeah,
Denver, LA Clippers.
I think the Clippers get that.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you.
We gotta expound on that
last night, because last night I was the only one who said that, and everybody was like, "What are you talking about?" So
Bishop said that. Bishop said
thank
that
you,
because
my
he don't like
brother.
Joker.
I'm glad I got back up.
Well,
Yeah, you're gonna need backup.
Zubac is playing pretty good. And
All right,
what's
let
the
me
name?
catch up.
Kawhi
Hold on.
Leonard is probably
He might get either most improved or one of them defensive awards.
Kawhi
Maybe.
is finally healthy. Kawhi is finally healthy. Whatever that means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What's the next one?
It means he can walk. It means he can walk. That's what.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
It's weird, because we already even Rob, unless Ronan wants to chime in, we already gave our takes last night. Unless y'all mother was going to backtrack and not that I wrote it down, but
the only thing I would probably backtrack is the only one series is the Milwaukee Indiana series, because now we just found out that Damian Lillard got cleared, so that does change things a little bit.
Game one, he's still missing game one.
Yeah.
He's still missing game one, but that's still Damian fucking Lillard, man.
I mean, I hear you on that, but Av, it doesn't change anything for me either, to be honest. I gotta be honest, and plus the fact, even though he's cleared or whatnot, and the fact he's not gonna play game one, maybe even not even game two. If he's back game two, who's to say he's gonna pour in like 40 points in his first appearance after missing time from what, mid-March?
But you see, that's the thing.
Indiana owns Bucks. They own the Bucks. Indiana owns the Bucks.
But see, that's the thing, is that they don't have to. I don't think Dame has to do very much, but you have to respect that. So now you have to look at Indiana, a team that has notoriously not been able to play defense for fucking shit over the last 3 years,
right?
And they're just offense. They're not the same offense that they were last year. They're still decent, but they still lack defense. And now you have to defend Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard. And I don't think that they'll be able to, I don't think they have the manpower to cover both guys. I mean, yeah, you can keep Giannis outside all you want, but what are you going to do if Dame gets a clean shot? What's Dame going to do? He's going to shoot it. He's going to make it. And now you got to defend his ass, and you're going to have a big ass problem.
Well, Indiana doesn't care about Giannis. They don't care about that.
They don't.
They'll just keep blasting up threes. Milwaukee doesn't play any defense like that. Giannis is going to have to score 65 points a game to beat them in that series. And Indiana has already proven that they own the Bucks. They've already proven that.
It doesn't change anything for me either. They've spaced them. Yeah. Milwaukee's been playing very well regardless, and so Dame might be make him worse, because didn't they win like the last 9 games?
Yeah,
I think so, but they were playing lesser competition. They had a really easy schedule in over the last I think 12, 15 games. To be honest with you,
okay.
They didn't play anybody. I think they were playing like Chicago. They were playing like a lowly Miami. They were playing like the Pelicans. Their schedule was kind of easy. I'd have to look it up, but Milwaukee did
Detroit,
and they lost to Detroit
twice.
And they lost both times, if I remember correctly. But you don't. But they don't have to worry about Detroit. Okay.
Because the Detroit loss got us into the 3rd seed. If you remember,
the Detroit lost or the Indiana lost?
Indiana got lost. Guys, Indiana got 50 wins. I'm not saying that's groundbreaking, but
they're not an easy out. They're not
the Pacers always space the Bucks because the only thing the Pacers care about is scoring.
Yeah.
And Milwaukee doesn't play defense like that. So Giannis is going to have to score 65 points. And the other guys are going to have to chip in like 50 points. So they're going to need about 115 to 125 points to beat Indiana. To beat Indiana. And it's not happening. It's not happening. By the 3rd game, Giannis is going to be running up and down with his tongue out because he's not going to be able to keep up with that pace. And Indiana loves that running and gunning. And who on the Bucks is going to slow the game down so that Giannis is more effective? Not Giannis. No, not Giannis. So
and not Dame.
That's a bad matchup. That's a bad matchup for the Bucks.
All right. So when I preface that, like the only thing that changes for me is that Indiana will still win the series. They because they have the deeper bench. They're more the complete team. But I don't think that they'll win it in 5. I think they'll win it in possibly maybe 6 or 7. I'm hoping it to be 7 because I think that matchup, like you said, Bishop, it's a tough one for Milwaukee. But at the same time, I don't, if the game slows down into the half court, I think it plays right into Milwaukee's wheelhouse. And sometimes Indiana does have a tendency to play down to the competition, just like the Knicks. They have a tendency to play down to the competition.
Yes.
So if they play Milwaukee's game, Milwaukee can make this a series. Indiana's still winning it.
They're not going to, because Giannis is going to be trying to run point forward. And he does have no idea on tempo, game tempo, whatever. He just wants to get up and down, run through like 4 players, dunk the ball, and it's like, yo, dude, like
Schoolyard.
again, you're not smart enough. You're not smart enough to know that you're playing right into their hands. You're not smart enough to know that. And if Obi Toppin gets hot, then the Knicks fans would be like, he should have got more minutes.
You know what, Bishop? I agree with you, and I think we discussed this before about Giannis's play and whatnot, and the lack of him trying to develop a game, so to speak. I know that may sound crazy to a few of you guys, but I think you know where I'm going with this. That whole point forward scheme, he's got to learn to change his game to make it more effective for his teammates and the team in general.
He can't be a point forward. In order for you to be a point forward, you have to have some form of a shot, and he doesn't have one to save his life. So I'm sorry. So I'm sorry. Giannis is a good player, but let's be realistic. He's not going to change his game. Not even what he's been in the league 7 years now. If he hasn't changed it by now, he's not going to.
It's not going to happen.
He is the 2-time MVP. He is the 2-time MVP. Whatever that means.
Who was he up against?
Whatever that means. Phoenix.
Exactly.
Phoenix. DeAndre Ayton.
And Devin Booker. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't no defender, but he does what he does, and he does what he does well. When he ain't shooting threes, and he just does what Giannis does. The guy's never shot less than 50.6 from the field. Now, granted, a lot of his buckets are, down low, but then again, they're letting him get down low. So he averages what? He'll get you 11, 12 rebounds a night. This year, he probably hit a high with 6.5 assists. So, I mean, I can't take nothing away from it. Is he a shooter? No, not by no means.
No.
But what he does pretty well. I mean, he does what he does. It's like Jalen Brunson. I keep getting confused with how the hell he's averaging 6, 7 assists when I never see him pass the ball. But that being said, Giannis does what Giannis does. But they're not going to beat Indiana. But we jumped from the West Coast to the East Coast. I
don't know how that happened, but it's okay. It's okay.
That was me. That was my fault. Let's go back. Let's go back to the West.
It's all good.
I got Golden State beating Houston.
That's the craziest thing you've ever said. You've said some crazy shit.
In my lifetime. You started off with that.
Hold on. I gotta hear. What's the reasoning behind that, Bishop?
I'm telling you, all of the other players, all of the role players, have started hitting their stride. Like Moody has started playing the way he was projected to play.
is playing pretty good.
Pajinski has started, being a little bit more consistent with the 3-point shot. That kid Post, he's pretty decent. He's pretty decent where, you got to honor his shot. Now, they don't have any matchup for the big for Houston. They don't have any matchup for him. But I'm okay. I'm okay with him getting his. You just got to stop Jalen Green and some of those other guys.
Yeah.
And you straight. Let Dylan the Villain shoot. I got Golden State. And I'm not even a Golden State fan, but I got them winning. And Steph has been there before. Draymond has been there before. Some of these guys have been there before. I got them beating Houston.
In what? How many? And how many?
I got them beating them in what is it, 7 games?
7 games.
Yes.
I got them beating them in 6. I got Golden State beating them in 6.
Let's go over what Bishop's talking about.
Because what Houston does, they make a lot of bonehead plays down in the stretch. Like Green, he's good, but sometimes it's like, yo, dude, like what's happening? Like what's going on? And even that big dude, he's pretty decent, but if you keep pressuring him, Sanguini or
Sangoon.
Yeah, he's pretty good. But if you start pressing him, double teaming, constant double teaming, he gets a little worn out. So I suspect that Golden State will put their magic on and they're going to beat them. And I'm not a Golden State fan.
But how do you constitute the deeper bench on the Houston side? Because I have Houston winning them. I think I have Houston winning them in 7 games. I think that Golden State is still going to give them a run because that offensive firepower. You're not going to deny Steph. You're not going to deny Jimmy Butler. You're not, and you bring up a good point on Moody. But how does Golden State match up bench for bench? Because because Houston plays tough. They're a tough team. They're a lunch pail team.
So what Golden State has changed, they've metamorphosized in front of everybody's eyes. When Steph is on the bench, the offense is being controlled by Jimmy Butler. And it's not. He's doing the same thing that he was doing in Miami. It's not anything pretty. It's not anything fantastic. He's not jumping over 3 people. He's just a smart ball player. Like he's getting to the line. He's getting guys in foul trouble. He's getting his teammates involved. He's getting like Pajinski, like during the beginning of the season to the middle of the season before Jimmy Butler got there, Pajinski was playing like trash. Moody was playing indecisive. Yo, these guys have been playing so well. Jonathan Kuminga can't even get off the bench.
That's true.
He can't even get off the bench. That's how good these guys have been playing. And I see that ball swinging around. It's like almost automatic. They double team Steph. The ball swings. Pajinski, 3-pointer. Moody, 3-pointer. Post, 3-pointer. Buddy Hield. And Buddy Hield hasn't even Buddy Hield likes to play in those type of games where it's like real contentious and guys are like chirping, and because that's what the series is going to be. But you still got to score. You still got Buddy Hield over there. And Buddy Hield has been shooting lights out for his whole career. So, again, yeah, they got who's going to guard all of these guys. You can't have Dylan the Villain guard Steph. He's going to be in foul trouble.
Man,
if he tries to guard Jimmy Butler.
Look, I hear what you're saying, son, but Houston got 100 dudes.
Shit, that's what I was getting ready to say.
All of those guys
and they're not afraid to foul. They're not afraid to foul a dude.
Right.
All of those guys that's fine. That's fine. That Jimmy Butler would be shooting 20 free throws.
You talking about 6 dudes.
Right.
Right?
Yo.
That's what you talking about, 6 dudes. Dependable 6. Right?
So put it this way, Lon. Houston has depth at every position.
Everyone.
Between starter and backup. Every position. That's 10 solid players right there.
Everyone. And he going to play him this the first round. He going to play all 10.
We keep saying
he'll go 13. Fuck that. He will go 13.
The Warriors don't have answers for too many guys on the Rockets.
Yeah, but
they don't have no answer for Sangoon.
Right.
They don't have no answer for Green. They don't even have an answer for
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Amon Thompson.
Moody is so Amon the Thompson kid. He may be a little bit of a problem, but he's not really going to be like if he's got to guard Jimmy Butler, he's going to be in foul trouble.
They got a guy
Moody
coming
can
off
guard
the bench. They
Moody
got a
can
guy
guard
coming
Green.
off the bench, but Butcher. They got a guy coming off the bench as a power forward that's averaging 12 points and 7 rebounds and shooting 43% from the field.
Yeah. Yep.
And Golden State ain't got nobody coming off the bench that's doing that.
Golden State is playing really good team defense.
It don't matter.
They are playing really good team defense.
They've been one of the better teams down there.
They've been playing really good team defense.
If you're gonna talk defense, Houston gives up less points.
52 wins.
Golden State, and they score more points than Golden State.
Okay, so and I said earlier they had 52 wins and Golden State had 48.
But I'm just going by strictly numbers.
That's 4 games.
Their numbers don't. And the reason their numbers don't jive and they outdo the Warriors in those key positions, points for, points against, it's because they got so many damn people.
Yeah, man.
I don't care what you say
The
about
last
Moody.
game-
These guys are averaging. Moody and them's average like 5-6 points a game.
The last
They ain't
game
got nobody coming
no.
off the bench averaging more than 10 points.
the last game Golden State played Houston, I'm listening to myself talking, and I'm defending Golden State. And
Feels weird, don't it?
yeah, it just feels really weird. But
I can't do it.
the last game that they played Houston, they lost the game, but they only lost the game because there was some mistakes made at the end where they didn't run plays how they should have ran plays. And I seen like Golden State's chemistry getting better and better, and the team defense getting better and better. So I just think, and I'm not a Steve Kerr fan, but I just think that he'll have the formula to crack the Udoka code, and he can jump up and down and try to say the guys are not tough and this and that. They lose in the series. The 7 seed is going to beat the 2 seed.
No, not in this lifetime.
I'm sorry, but
It's okay.
there's nobody
I'll accept
convincing.
Because when you say Golden State did this, and this late in the season, the Rockets did this all season. They had a couple of hiccups along the way,
and they still only finished 4 games ahead of Golden State.
But you're saying, Bishop, I'm going by what you're saying. That Golden State did this, and this at the end of the season, and you saw them getting better and better and better and better. But Houston throughout the year did all of that. Again, they had their hiccups, like Golden State obviously had theirs. So hiccups aside, again, they're one of the very few teams in today's NBA that's allowing less than 110 points a game. And when you take Butler and Curry, again, if you just neutralize, not cut them off completely, if you neutralize Curry or Butler, they're getting swept. But I still got the Rockets winning in 5 because they're just a better team. I think we're still looking at the Warriors like they're the Warriors of yesterday.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
They don't have no answer. They have no. This dude Sangoon might average 30 points a night because they don't have no center. You think Draymond Green's gonna check this dude?
No.
Not this lifetime.
Also, you have to factor in. Golden State is notorious for mailing it in certain quarters. They haven't been able to put 48 minutes together consistently in over 3 months. Like, yes, they were winning a lot of games, but also look at the quality of opponent. And I mean, come on now. If you watch them go. Yes, they beat the Lakers. You're absolutely right. They'll play up to their opponent most nights, but they have a tendency to not play a consistent 48 minutes for a game, and they have to do that 4 times against a team that, as Dom has been alluding, as live and as I've been saying this, they have 10 guys that have been doing it all season long for 48 minutes. They have to do that, and I don't see the Warriors at this stage of their evolution. Now that you're talking about, Steve Kerr now 10 years into his roles, Steph Curry on the downside of his career, Draymond Green on the downside of his career, and they just don't have the talent. I have the Rockets winning it in 7. It's going to be a competitive series, but I just don't think that they'll be able to do it. And on top of that, they have to beat the Rockets at least 2 or 3 times in Houston. I don't see that happening.
I got the Rockets winning in 5, B. That's not. It's too many horses, man. It ain't.
I'm gonna say this last thing, right?
All right.
Just think about Golden State with the offense that they've ran, and morphing into Miami's mindset of control the tempo of the game, don't turn the ball over, and limit the opponent's offensive opportunities.
That's too big of a what if for me. That's too big of a what if.
That's what they've been doing. That's how they've been beating these teams. That's what they've been doing. And people, again, I'm not trying to convince you guys. I'm just saying, I will accept apologies from Dom, Live. Who else?
So now that everybody had this conversation, I'm with you again. We 2 for 2.
I'm a stand-up dude. I get it,
And
man. But
if you're gonna look at a streak, I'm just looking at player for player, pound for pound. The Rockets just have too much, guys. I'm not no Rockets fan, and
Right.
No.
ain't nobody here no Rocket fan.
I definitely ain't no Steve Kerr fan. You know, he's gonna change the world and can't fix fucking Draymond Green. But that being said, you know, I just think the Rockets got too many weapons, and like I said, I haven't seen a team like this that's deep that's 2-time deep at each position.
Right.
Like when a guy comes out, you still got somebody. I'm telling you, the scariest thing is going to be this Sangoon kid. Hey, this dude might average 30 points.
How many?
Because I don't see nobody on Golden State stopping this kid.
How many games did OKC win?
After Sangoon, who's the next two best players?
He's not even the best player. Green's the best player.
Right.
Then you got Amon. Then you got Thompson. Then you got Van Fleet. Then you got Sangoon. Then you got Smith coming off the bench. Then you got the pain in the ass. What's his name?
Dylan the Gillen.
Dylan the Gillen. You got so many. You got so many weapons. And again, other than that, guys, if you haven't watched them play this year, again, I don't know who does what and who got league pass and all that shit. But when you watch the Rockets play, the one thing you could never say is they cheat anything. They play hard for 48 minutes. They play hard with the starters, the rotation. Everything they do is played hard for 48 minutes. And the reason they could do that is because they're deep at each position.
So how many games did OKC win?
I don't know. I'm using my phone now because my
63, 64, something like that.
I think OKC won 64 games.
Did they?
The number two seed.
I'm using my phone now, so I can't.
The number 2 seed won 52 games. So there was a 12-game gap between the number 1 and the number 2 seed. The way you're describing Houston, you would think that Houston won 60 games, and they were like a couple of games behind the number 1 seed.
I'm looking at what
I watched them play. I watched them
play. They won 68. They won 68.
Right. I'm looking at what they did. Right. I'm just looking at what they did, Bishop. What they did and how they did it. All that other stuff, that's fine. The wins and who got more wins, but what they did, again, they're one of, I think, maybe 5 or 6 teams in the NBA that average giving up less than 110 points.
Well, according to
and we know Golden State ain't doing that.
According to you, Dom, defense doesn't matter in this league.
Well, in the playoffs, it does, because that's the reason they're a 2 seed. And I will say this when we go further, which we should. I don't have OKC coming out the West.
Neither do I.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I do.
Really? They've beaten every team in the West. They've beaten every team in the West like they stole something.
Yeah, they did. But that's the regular season.
Right.
No, and they've beaten them consistently. Like they've been beating teams by 20 points.
I just don't think they're that good. I'm not saying they're not good. I just don't think they're. It's just me, guys. I'm not Nostradamus.
I mean, I feel you. I hear you.
Yes, you are.
Well,
yes, you are.
I think the Rockets are going to the finals.
What you just described about the Rockets is apropos for OKC. Like OKC has the deep bench. OKC has mismatches. I think if OKC plays, who do they play in the first round? They play Dallas.
Whoever the
eighth seed
is.
They're probably gonna play Dallas. They're probably gonna play Dallas in the first round. That's not gonna be an easy series because Dallas got length. And they don't have the length. So SGA is gonna get his, but
I don't see what else they have, Bishop. I don't.
Dallas?
I mean, they got SGA. No, OKC. They got Gilchrist.
Yeah,
they got Boney. They got Boney kid. What's his name?
They got the Williams.
Chet Holmgren. But here's the weird thing, guys. And I'm not picking. Right, I'm not picking them to go. But minus Kyrie Irving, the Dallas Mavericks all of a sudden got healthy right before the play-in. Remember, guys, they was missing damn near everybody on that team not long ago.
They were.
Now they got everybody back except Kyrie Irving. So to think that I don't know, they still got to beat Memphis to get into this playoff. But I'm telling you guys, strange shit happens when, again, we're not going to get into the Knicks, but the Knicks got healthy at the right time because the Knicks had Brazilian hiccups all year, and so did Dallas. Dallas was hurt long before Kyrie got hurt. Shit, Dallas was hurt when they had Luka Doncic because his ass was hurt.
Well, remember, they was talking about forfeiting games or whatnot because they couldn't provide enough bodies.
Yeah, they didn't have enough bodies.
Yeah.
You remember, guys, they had everybody on the bench except Kyrie Irving to include Luka Doncic.
And
then you lost
six
Kyrie.
G League players. They had 6 G League players.
Right.
Yeah. and now you got Lively. You got all of these guys that, ironically, guys, I'm not saying the fix was in and these fuckers just got healthy overnight, but
the fix was in.
Look at their roster now, guys. The only guy that they don't have available is Kyrie Irving.
Yeah,
who was really during that whole stretch the only guy that was available.
Yeah, those bigs. What I'm saying, those bigs for Dallas, Lively, Lively, and from Washington. They are problems. They are problems.
Anthony Davis, if he could stand up for 48 minutes,
for sure.
There's problems. That's 7 feet, and they had them playing at one point. They had all of them on the court at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah,
and that's what
they did. You know what they did, Bishop? They was doing. Y'all remember before the Donovan Mitchell trade, the Cleveland Cavaliers were damn near running 3 7-footers.
Yeah,
with Allen, Marketing, and Mobley. Mobley. And that's what Dallas is doing. Dallas is doing the opposite of what the NBA is doing. And you know what? Here's the key to what they're doing. They're not going to your level. Like, y'all are going to play small. We're not. We're going to stay big.
Stay big. Right, Dom.
So now you gotta. I just hope they beat Memphis because I want to see them in the playoffs because of everything they went through. And I'm so confused with this shit. How are you picking on this GM? Didn't he have to go through the owners to make this trade?
The owners dictated that trade. The owners dictated that trade.
They always do.
The owner dictated that trade. He was just the guy who executed it.
Exactly.
He didn't say, "Hey."
He picked up the call. He picked up the phone. That's all he did.
Right.
So when have you ever seen that happen in basketball? I don't know what is going on. That this guy is all of a sudden, public enemy number one.
Well, it's the statements that he makes. It's the statements that he makes. Like he's been making real. But
I think those are forced in him, Bishop. I mean, some of the shit he's saying. Some of the shit he's saying. Come on, guys. I love hearing. Well, Doncic got the Mavericks to the finals last year. Who picked them to go to the finals last year? And okay, let's fast forward.
Nobody.
After they went to the finals last year, who picked them to go to the finals this year? Nobody. Exactly. So you act like we traded Bill Russell. There's a reason. I say it all the time, guys, and it's going to come out sooner or later. I understand what this guy is doing. He has to come up with some kind of answer. But if you listen to some of the subliminals, this guy, first of all, he may be 25, but he's probably 32 in real life.
He's been playing professional ball
since he was 15.
15 years old.
Yes. So his work ethic, unless the Lakers got this magic wand, his work ethic.
They do.
And I'll tell you this, guys, and this is what I said last night, not to skip ahead, but Minnesota is going to take a page out of the Celtics book. Now, they're not as good as the Celtics, but they're going to go right at his ass on defense. They're going to just keep going at Luka, going at Luka.
The worst. I've never seen a worse defender in the league.
No, exactly.
Never. Not even Cat, not JB. He is the worst.
So you think Minnesota's smart enough?
Luka is 25. Luka is 25 in Dominican baseball years.
You think Minnesota is smart enough to execute like that? You think that team is
smart
enough?
They got a really good coach. Like I said, in the last 55 games of this NBA season, they were the best team in basketball.
You know what that series is going to be about? That series is going to be about Anthony Edwards proving that he can shoot threes.
Well, he did that. He led the league in threes this year.
Right, exactly. And live by the three, die by the three.
Hey.
And Julius Randle doing Julius Randle things, getting double teamed, jumping in the air,
Spinning in the
firing
paint.
60 mile an hour,
I don't
60
think
mile
so,
an hour
Bishop.
fastball. Like, dude,
I think
they're not winning.
I
They're not
think
winning.
the basketball gods are gonna rear their ugly heads and bite the Lakers in their ass for what they did.
I don't know.
And it's gonna be redemption for that poor dude in Dallas that's getting lambasted day after day, and the owner's sitting there worried about building a casino. Okay, my bad. Yeah, come on.
The Lakers have been playing pretty good.
I hate the Lakers. So
I hate the Lakers too,
I'm
and
a
I
real
got
New
and
Yorker. I don't like nothing about California.
I hate the Lakers too, but to be honest with you, I have them winning the West.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I got him. I got him coming out of it too.
Man, y'all gonna make me go to bed. Shit. Y'all out here. They ain't getting past. They ain't getting
Hey,
past.
it pains me to say this. I don't want to say this. I don't want to say this.
Minnesota.
They're gonna smack Minnesota. You know for a fact that Julius Randle's gonna choke. Rudy Gobert's gonna get into fucking foul trouble, and Anthony Edwards is gonna shoot 50 fucking 3-pointers and miss about 33 of them. Come on now.
And LeBron's gonna be flailing on the floor like a fucking
and he's gonna get his calls, and he's gonna be on the line.
No, they're losing in 5. The Lakers are going down in 5.
Nah.
I have them winning in 6.
Let's move on. That's just my pick. I ain't telling y'all to agree with me.
Man.
I'm just saying.
I have them winning in 6.
They don't play defense. How the hell are they going to win?
When do the Lakers
I
face
don't know about
OKC?
5.
When do the Lakers face
5, but I got
OKC?
Minnesota to win.
They don't. The Lakers ain't playing OKC
until the finals.
Right.
I can't look at the brackets because I'm using my
Yeah,
phone now.
they're the 3 seed. So in the second round they'll play the 2 seed. They'll play the Houston Golden State winner, and then they would play the OKC if they get there.
Right.
So I got the Lakers playing OKC in the finals.
You're out
in the Western Conference
Finals. You're out your ever-loving mind. Neither one of them are getting to the conference. Neither one of them are going to the finals. You're out your ever-loving mind. Go back in your damn car.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Me and Bishop agree on something.
Wow. In the WCF.
Me and Bishop agree on something for once. Because everything you just said, that's exactly how I see the West.
I told y'all I'm jumping ahead. I'm jumping ahead because I'm getting sleepy. I got the revenge of 1994. Knicks in the Rockets finals.
I hope so. I pray to God that happens because, like I said, here comes the bomb. I really do think that if we're jumping back to the East and we're talking about our Knicks, this might be the swan song for Tom Thibodeau. I don't like it. I don't agree with it, but I honestly feel unless the Knicks make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, which I don't see how they're doing that, but unless Tom Thibodeau is probably getting fired.
Yeah. Why would you think that? Like, who are you going to hire?
Here you go. Here you go.
Here we go.
I'll tell you
Mike, you got Mike Malone. You got Budenholzer.
Here we go.
You got
a bigger losing coach than the guy you're firing. You're going to hire him. Okay. Go ahead.
Or they can even go crazier. And why not? Why not have Rick Brunson ascend to the throne?
Oh, get the fuck! Y'all are making me sick.
I don't like it either. I don't like it either. Trust me, I don't like this shit. But
let me just say this, guys. Hold on. For your standards, the standards you are setting, that means Malone would have got fired years ago.
Yep.
The Celtics would never be where they're at now.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis coach should have been fired before he got fired. And the list goes on and on. If your standards are what they are for Tom Thibodeau, who has coached this team, this current roster for 82 games, and all of a sudden the standards have changed, but you got coaches that have been coaching the same team that can't get out their damn way and still are employed. And guess what? I did this before, and I'm not going to go over it again because I'm getting tired. Malone has a worse record than Tom Thibodeau. He has a worse playoff record than Tom Thibodeau. He got to the finals once, and I will say this about Mr. Malone. I like the guy. He's a good dude, good coach. he ain't shit. He's Jeff Van Gundy without Joker. Without Joker, Malone is Jeff Van Gundy.
Wow.
That's all he is. He's Jeff Van Gundy when he don't have Nikola Jokic.
I'm not going to throw any names out there.
Proves it. His record proves it. Not me. His record proves he wasn't Jack. He's lucky. Guys, believe me, I like him. I like Denver. He is lucky he survived that far. Serious.
Yeah,
he had a losing record everywhere he's been until Nikola Jokic.
Right.
And he only got out the second round one time, just like Thibodeau, except he went to the championship because he had Nikola Jokic. Whether you like Nikola Jokic or not, Mike Malone should have been fired years ago.
He probably should have.
First of all, the way he berates his players in press conferences would have got his ass fired. Would have got his ass egged, yoked every day leaving the Garden if he did that shit in New York. Don't give me Mr. Malone. I like the guy, but don't give me his name.
Hold on. Let me get the Bishop the floor real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm not going to give you any names of burned out, recycled coaches because the league is going through a purge right now. The league is going through ownership is purging coaches that are burned out, that no longer are effective with the way the game is being played. So I'm not going to give you a name. I'm going to tell you that the Knicks need to find someone who can relate to how the game is being played today.
Yes.
Who can galvanize these players, who can galvanize these players with the talent that we have, who can galvanize these players and get the best out of them. I don't know who that is. I know it's not Tom Thibodeau.
How is he
not getting
the best out of his players and he won 50 games 2 years in a row?
Okay,
something the Knicks haven't done in 30 years.
Okay, so again,
I'm just asking the question.
When you're win starved, then you'll accept the mediocrity. What I'm saying to you is, the Knicks should be in a better position this season than they were last season. They should have won at least 60. They should have won at least 60 games.
Yeah, okay.
They should have won at least 60 games this season.
With a brand new roster. Okay.
They should not, even with a brand new roster in the Eastern Conference, they should not have lost to Chicago twice. They shouldn't have lost to Atlanta
we can't
twice.
Keep going over this. They did all of that and still won 51 games.
Again.
I can say
you're happy about the fact that they have a winning record. I'm cool
not
with
happy.
I'm cool with that. Right. I'm saying I want more. And I'm telling you that he's not the guy. He's not the guy to get us to that next level. And none of those names that anybody called out, because Mike Budenholzer is trash. I don't know how he got.
He'll have a job next year.
It's recycle burnout coaches. Yeah. Recycle burnout coaches.
Right.
Mike Malone. Don't really like Mike Malone. The Phoenix. Who else got fired? The dude from don't be surprised if the dude that got fired in Sacramento is being interviewed. I wouldn't be surprised.
He'll be interviewed. He'll be interviewed.
Brown was a coach of the year 2 years ago.
Yeah,
he'll be interviewed.
Here's the funny thing. All of these guys that got fired won a ring. But here's the weird thing. They'll all I don't know about Mike Brown. Budenholzer and
one with LeBron.
Budenholzer and
Malone.
Malone will have a job next year.
They will.
I guarantee you.
Right.
Also, you guys,
Memphis. One of them going to be coaching Memphis.
Yeah, exactly. Memphis.
And one of them going to be coaching Sacramento.
And
the other one's going to coach Phoenix.
Exactly. So, I mean, we could beat this horse to death, but this is the NBA. And like I said, if your standard is such, some of these guys should have been fired years ago. But I just look at things in a Knick bubble. I look at how bad we were and where we are today. And only one person changed that whole culture, and that was Tom Thibodeau. Bro, we went through 6 coaches. We went through 6 coaches in 7 years, guys.
Like I said, man.
And won 17 games twice.
I said this yesterday. I said, listen, Thibodeau, yeah, he's been the best coach for the Knicks in a while. Okay, that hands down. I hear what you're saying. Hands down. I agree. He has been. But again, and I say this always, you got to get these guys to the next level. You got to break through the ceiling.
Right.
And
I
he's
will say
not
this, guys.
been able to do that. This is
I
a
will
fact.
say this.
I'm not making this up.
Right. I will say this. If the Knicks don't get to the conference finals next year,
No,
then he has to go.
no,
Yeah,
I think
we're
it's
not.
this year.
Late.
Yeah.
no,
I gotta give
no,
him. I
Late.
gotta give him a year with this
No.
roster
no,
and moving forward.
no.
Because if that's the case, like I said, Boston, who had Brown and Tatum for 7 years, took 7 years to win a ring. It took how many years for Middleton and Giannis to win a ring? How many years did it take Joker and Murray to win a ring? This shit is progressing. Cleveland wins 60 games because they kept their 4 players for 4 to 6 years.
Well, we're not
But we're
getting rid of
gonna
players.
measure-
Guess what?
We're not
Cleveland
getting rid of
we're gonna
players.
last year.
We're going to
Dom.
measure
What
the
did
Knicks by
Cleveland do
82
last
games.
year?
We're not
They
getting rid of
fired the
players.
coach and brought in a new coach.
You
That's
better-
what I'm saying.
But they had the same players. They
Right?
still
No, I
had
agree
the
with
same.
you.
They
We're
had
getting
the
rid of
same.
players.
Every team that has won a championship, guys, in the last 4 to 5 years had
Yes.
the same makeup, the same key components for 4 to 6 years.
We're not
Even
getting rid of players.
OKC.
I agree. That's what I said. I agree.
If you
with
don't have consistency and you want to do the wheels on the bus go round and round and change coaches, change players every year, you will be the Knicks. You will be what the Knicks have been for 25 years. We went through this already, guys. If y'all want to go through it again, God bless you. I'm not on that bandwagon. I will say if they don't win next year, if they don't get to the championship next year, because that gives them, remember, even the team they put together, we started out in the hole. We were missing half our bench. Then Brunson went down. Karl Anthony Towns missed some games. And God, the greatest thing that ever happened is Anunoby stood healthy. So we basically had 2 really healthy bodies the whole year. And that was Anunoby and Bridges.
Those are excuses, Dom.
No, they're not. They're facts, man.
Those are
They ain't
excuses.
excuses. They're facts.
So
If it was any other
you look
team
at-
that was missing that many players, they'd be 5 games under 500.
if you look at his career, if you look at Tibbs' career,
Mhm.
what team has he led to that next plateau?
Chicago.
What is Chicago?
Matter of fact, let's say that real quick. How many playoff games has Chicago won since Thibodeau left? Not series. How many games has Chicago won? In
I
the
got
playoffs?
that. I got that.
How
but
many?
Three?
How many? One.
Has, Chi-
Three?
has
One.
Chicago,
Oh, it's one.
One.
did Chicago play for a championship?
They went to the conference finals.
Did they play for a championship?
No, we know
Okay,
that, man.
and
You're
since-
bringing up
And since
nonsense
then,
statistics.
where was he? Since then, after Chicago, where did he go?
He got
Minnesota?
the
Hold on.
Minnesota
Before we go to
Timberwolves.
Chicago,
He got Minnesota Timberwolves to the playoffs for the first time in 16 years.
I'm
Okay,
going to defend Tibbs in Chicago because he had to face the Heatles.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
And
just
then
saying.
he was an assistant under Doc. Won the title. Didn't he win a title with when the Celtics
Yes.
won the title in 08?
I
Yeah.
believe,
As
I
an
believe
assistant.
Yeah,
As an
yeah, he was an
assistant,
assistant.
yeah.
As an
Exactly.
assistant, as an
Again,
assistant.
you look at everywhere he's been, he brought that franchise to a better place, including our Knicks.
And he's done that. So it's time for us to move on.
If that's what you want to do, then here we go. 5 coaches. So what are you going to say next year when we bring in a new coach and we win 42 games? You going to say fire him?
Nope.
Or
nope.
are
So
you
what
going
I'm
to say give him a chance because it's a new
Nope.
roster for him?
what I'm
All
saying
right.
is
All right, I'm
last
listening.
season when we lost to the Pacers,
Indiana. Mm-hmm.
when we lost to the Pacers, he got out coached.
No, he
got
didn't. He got
out-coached.
out. He got outmanned.
He got out coached.
How many healthy bodies did we have in Game 7?
We still were the better team. We still were the better team.
Okay.
We still were the better team.
Yeah, no, we weren't.
And
How
if
were
you
you
watch,
a better team when you didn't have a
if you
team
look-
on the court?
if you look at his coaching
Really?
style and you look at how the game is being played,
Come on.
you look at how the game is being played. It's the two don't match. The two don't match.
Yeah, we got a bunch of we got a bunch of pussies playing the sport, and he's a mad dog. So what do you want him to do?
The two
Just
don't match.
like the theory of him playing players too many minutes. There was this young lady on Sirius XM, I think yesterday morning. She did a deep dive into this so-called myth. Not happening whatsoever. Do you know that Mikal Bridges averaged the most points per game this year? Right? Devin Booker was 30 seconds under him. Kevin Durant at 36 years old with a bad leg was 1 minute under him. So this theory of everything they say about this guy has been proven to be just a theory. So I give you this, guys, because y'all are whole headstrong on getting rid of him. So when the next coach comes in, and he wins 48 games, what are you going to say? Oh, he needs time because it's a new team, it's a new roster. The Knicks had how many healthy players did the Knicks have on the court in Game 7 last year, Bishop?
Let's get the new coach.
I'm asking the question. I'm just asking the question. None.
Yeah.
None. Even Josh Hart got hurt. They might have had Mikal Bridges. Yeah, they had Bridges. That was it.
No, they didn't have Bridges was on the team. I think the only healthy guy.
Not Bridges.
Yeah, he was in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
exactly.
DiVincenzo was the only healthy body on the team. Even Brunson went down in Game 7. Even Hart went down in Game. We had nobody on our team. And you think we're supposed to win? What coach was going to do that? Doc Rivers.
Nobody.
Doc Rivers.
So you can look at it.
Pat Riley.
You can spin it. You can spin it how you want to spin it. You can spin it how you want to spin it. But how I see it is, if you had an offensive scheme that involved,
here we go.
That involved more players.
Points and shit.
No, if you got an offensive scheme that involved more players, if you were able, you're a defensive coach. You're a defensive coach.
Right.
You're a defensive coach. Guys are ignoring you. Guys are ignoring you. The Knicks play no defense. The guys are ignoring you. But that's supposed to be the things that you hang your hat on. Yo, his time is past. It's time to move on.
Everything you say, you say, he actually has proven you wrong. No offense. Only team in the NBA that their starting five is averaging over 100 points.
Hold on.
I didn't say no offense. I didn't say
offense. Hold on, now. Hold on.
Let me y'all did. Go ahead, Bishop.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. Let me just say this, man. Y'all are funny as hell, by the way. I'm up there dying laughing.
Y'all just been dead set on getting rid of this guy for so long. I can't wait till it happens.
No. It's not that. And you know what?
Won me over.
Hold on.
I'm
about to give you props because you've convinced me. Okay, I get it. I understand the whole thing about, players playing together for multiple years and whatnot, all that junk. I get it. Okay, we got a new roster this season. Fine. Okay, Tibbs. Okay, you know what though? I'll give him a pass. Believe it or not, Bishop. I'll give him a pass. Next season though, that seat is going to be hot.
Exactly. That's what I said.
No, I know, and I'm giving you props. I'm saying,
dude, we played 10 games against the top teams in the league.
We know that.
And we got spanked.
And how
every single game.
How healthy were we in them
single
10 games?
Game 1, game 10, whatever you want to say, 10 games, we didn't even scratch. We didn't even leave a scratch on any of those teams that we played.
Well, no, they left a scratch against that Boston.
The last Boston game.
The last Boston game when who wasn't playing? Who wasn't playing for Boston?
See, I know this don't mean nothing to you.
Yeah, exactly.
I know this don't mean much to you. But if you're down men, just like we was all year, and everybody was complaining about this playing too many minutes, but we didn't have no bench. We started out in the hole with Payne, Shamet, Mitchell Robinson, Precious Achua. We started out with that. When the season started, we were -4. And we're playing 7-8 guys a game, and everybody was complaining. And I'm asking myself,
Deuce
McBride got hurt later. Yeah, we started out in the hole. We did. Come on, guys. If you don't see that, and if you think that don't mean nothing, like we could just wave this magic wand, and we got Knickerbocker Ave and Mr. Live coming off the bench, and they're like the next greatest. No, we didn't have that. We started out in the hole. We still won 51 games. Yes, we could say we were 0-10 against the top 3 teams in the league. So was Milwaukee. But you don't hear nobody saying that. It happens, guys. It happens. But you won 51 games. You're in the playoffs. You're in the playoffs 4 out of the last 5 years. Some shit we haven't done since the 90s. And we're still looking for what? I don't get it, guys.
The next step.
The answer.
This is the next step, man.
No. This is consistency. Now I want the next level. Now I want the next level.
I can't wait till he gets fired, man.
He did his job.
Hold on. Can I say something? The problem I have with all this
is
because Tibbs changed the roster 3 times. And that's why there is no consistency. And yes, we have
Tibbs did not change it. Hold on. Tibbs did not change.
That's left from when Tibbs started is Mitch. Literally.
Yeah, but he didn't. He's the coach. He's not the manager. He's not the general manager.
The lineup.
Well,
Leon Rose did.
Manager because that seat's empty. But
he played who he had, Rob.
No. I get it, and that's why I'm also with you in this, Dom. I have no problem, and I also think this team is better than 51 wins. But
Yes.
I think it takes time. It took time to gel, and I also think that in the last 20 games of the season, like some guys coasted. I mean, I can tell you one guy who everybody loves, Josh Hart. I really think he coasted into the playoffs and his play showed it. So you can say what you want, but the reality is this team is better than what their win is. So I get it. But eventually something has to be done to improve. You can't just change the roster and keep the same coach and have the same level of play. So yes, if I will give him time, yeah, maybe. But there's a lot of openings this year. There's a lot of people that are going to come out, which I agree with. I don't remember who said it, that the NBA is changing and who they're bringing in. So that also factors in, and you want to jump in on it because now there's a lot of teams that have these openings and you can get that next best thing. So I'm torn, but I get what everybody's saying. And I agree.
I will say this, Rob. When it happens, get back with me. That's all I can say, because I don't see it happening. I see what Bishop has been complaining about since I've known him about the recycling. I see it continuing. Again, when it happens, get back with me. I would love to see it, guys, because I'm with Bishop on that. I'm tired of seeing the same shit every year.
Right.
This guy gets fired, he gets hired. This guy. I mean,
me too. That's
how
why
many championship coaches? How many championship coaches in the last 4 years have gotten fired? At least 4. At least 4 or 5 of them.
When you win coach of the year,
let me
coach of the year, you're gonna get fired.
Right. But let me exactly. Bishop, let me say the 4 or 5 coaches minus Malone that got fired after winning the ring, they all got a job. And one got fired twice.
Right.
And he still had a job. He's going to get a job next year. That's Budenholzer. He'll have a job next year. He won a ring and got fired by 2 teams. Help me understand this, guys. I mean, I'm with y'all when it comes to this. Trust me. I am sick of seeing the same shit.
Before we move on, I just want to preface this. Even though I think
R got to go to bed, man. Hurry up.
I know.
You gotta go to bed.
Look. I don't want Tom Thibodeau to be fired, but I see the writing on the wall. I see the writing on the wall. I think that if the Knicks do not make the Eastern Conference Finals, which they won't, he is going to be fired.
Nah,
and if they lose in the first round, he's definitely getting fired.
Nah, next year. If he don't get there next year, he's done. Because again, we're not the smartest apples in the tree. None of us on here run an organization. But the Knicks would have so much egg on their face if they caved in to this, knowing they put this team together. They made the trade to get Karl Anthony Towns. They made the trade to get rid of DiVincenzo. They signed Anunoby to an illustrious contract. You went and got a ball-dominant point guard who's supposed to be the next Walt Frazier. Y'all did this. The coach didn't do this. You did this.
So just to put this in context. I told you at 40 games when we had 40 wins. I told you that, and there were 19 games left in the season. I said we're going to finish at about 50, 51 wins. We'll win whoever we play in the first round. We'll beat them in the first round,
right?
And then we're going to lose in the second round. And that's what I predicted, and I still stand by that. We're going to lose because we got to play Boston in the second round,
right?
And we haven't shown at any point during the season that we're even a threat,
right?
To Boston at any point during the season.
Don't you think, Bishop, that they're just a better team?
Again, you have to put up some sort of a fight. Yeah, they are a better team.
But
they are a better team. They are a better team, but in the NBA,
they're not that much better than us.
Yes,
they're not that much better. Not that much.
Let me say something to you right now, Bishop, because some of these guys, except me, you, and Live, I told y'all after game 1, Live. I mean, you and Live. I told y'all I thought our kryptonite was Anunoby and Bridges for Tatum and Brown, and that shit went left the first game of the year.
Yep.
Went totally left the first game of the year.
Mhm.
So I started thinking then, well, okay, they're a better team than us. They just won the championship, though it took them 7 years with their 2 key players, but they won a ring. So, okay, maybe I was overzealous thinking these guys were our kryptonite. But it never stopped because you never could stop the team that you would have to face down the road. And that has something to do with talent. We just don't have the talent they have.
So
And whose fault is that? And whose fault is that?
That's ownership.
No, can
Yes.
I ask you at some point, if you keep getting your ass kicked as a coach, don't you think you would
It
try
ain't
to
just the coach,
adjust?
it's the players, man.
Don't you think that you would adjust the strategy so that you come up with a more effective strategy and play?
See that now that I agree with that.
I'm not saying that
agree
you're going to win. I'm not saying that you're going to win.
You can do, guys. I'll give you an
Okay, so
example.
just throw your hands up and
No,
and
I'll
let
give you an
Boston,
example.
let Cleveland, let OKC
I'll give
run
you a
right
good
through you.
example. No, I'll give you a good example, Victor. The New York Yankees, who I love with all my heart, more than I do the Knicks. They bullied their way through the American League Championship. Did you honestly think they were going to beat the Dodgers? No, you didn't. I'm a Yankee fan from the Bronx, and I knew they weren't going to beat the Dodgers. Sometimes the guy in front of you is just that much better than you. I don't give a shit who's coaching, who's managing. Sometimes that team is just that much better than you. The Boston Celtics have a better bench. They have a better 3. And to top that shit off, they got Drew Holiday, who at one time in the game, I saw checking Karl Anthony Towns, and he was still shooting 3-pointers. Sometimes you really got to look at me versus you instead of what X's and O's and this and that. Sometimes the team is just better than you, man. And Boston is that much better than us, guys. Honestly, they are. I don't see nobody else.
And Cleveland is too.
No, I don't think Cleveland is. No.
And OKC is too.
Cleveland is the same team we waxed last year.
And Chicago is too. And
No,
apparently Atlanta is too.
No, those are games. Those are games in the season. They are not better than us. The record shows they're not better. And guess what? Until Cleveland can beat somebody with a little bit of cachet, they're still the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I would like to see New York against Cleveland. Okay, because you
won't.
I know you can't. But I would love to just to see if this. Remember, you got the consistency of the players in Cleveland that have been there for like 5, 6, 7 years, and they added a new coach to that mix.
And how did they get Hunter is beyond me, but hey,
I'm just saying.
So again,
skeleton from the closet.
What I'm saying, you can claim, this team is better, that team is better.
It's
like,
fact,
okay, you said Cleveland is not. Cleveland won 60-something games.
Right.
And that wasn't just because they got more talent. That is because the coaching is better. Coaching is better.
Yes.
The coaching is better.
And the coach that was coaching them last year got Detroit in the playoffs this year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And Monty Williams could have got Detroit into the playoffs that year, but for some reason, Monty Williams got in his head that he wasn't going to play the 2 young backcourt players together, and he had some kind of bone to pick with the other kid that got hurt this season. And it's like, they were good enough to at least be in the play-in that last season. They were good enough to at least be.
They won 17 games.
He didn't want to be there.
He didn't want to play. He didn't want to be there, and he did a Larry Brown. He did a Larry Brown in Detroit.
He could have not wanted to play Bill Russell. He won 17 games, man.
It was more important for him to be right than to win games.
Come on, Bishop. Sometimes you just don't have the talent, man.
It was
I'll give Cleveland credit. I'll give Cleveland credit. Not only did they stand pat and run it back, I'm still confused as hell as how they got DeAndre Hunter. How did that shit happen?
Well, what's the name is getting ready to blow up Atlanta, so I guess they were trying to get ahead of it.
Right, but I'm just saying, how did he end up in Cleveland's lap? You had the best record in the Eastern Conference, and you get this dude. Really? Well, how did this shit happen?
Yeah, somebody knows somebody.
Nobody else wanted DeAndre Hunter. Nobody in the league wanted DeAndre Hunter. I find that hard to believe, but hey, it happened. But again, sometimes talent just beats whatever me and you and everybody else can debate, argue, split hairs. When you got the horses, you got the horses. I mean, again, like I said, it took Boston 7 years. 6 years with Tatum, 6 years with Brown, 7 years with Tatum, or vice versa, whatever it is. It took them 7 years as a duo to get over the hump.
Mhm.
And we're gonna put our team's feet to the fire after 82 games. Hey, again, whatever floats your boat. I've been there, I've done that. I saw 6 coaches in 7 years, 2 17-win seasons. I don't want to go back to them times. But I will say this, guys, as headstrong as y'all think I am with this guy, if he don't get to the conference finals next year, he's gone. He's gone. This year will be a curve because everybody has to answer. Why didn't y'all front office? Why didn't y'all best use the vet minimums? How did you let us go without a center when Andre Drummond was available and you knew Mitchell Robinson wasn't going to play till February? How did you get hoodwinked into giving up Dante DiVincenzo but taking a $61 million contract for a one-dimensional ball player? Some things got to be answered that's way above the coach.
Right.
And I will say this, they did a great job, guys. Our front office, up until the DiVincenzo shit, has not been beat on a trade. They've been lazy on certain other things. Like, again, me and you had this conversation, me, you, Bishop, earlier in the year. I was like, why didn't they get Drummond? They knew, come on, don't be trying to bullshit us fans like we're stupid, like we're fifth graders. We knew damn well Mitchell Robinson wasn't playing until February, maybe March. So you think the Knicks didn't know that, but you didn't go after a center. You thought Precious Achiuwa was the answer? Really?
I said this the whole year. Because not only that, but they knew iHeart wasn't coming back because his agent is Leon Rose's son. So he knew what paperwork was coming through.
Wow. You let Vukovic go. You didn't try to get him.
Right.
You didn't try to get Drummond. You didn't try to get Nokic, the other one, that could fill in. We only needed a backup center. You let that shit go under the radar like we didn't know Mitchell Robinson wasn't going to play most of the damn year. And again, you put your eggs in Precious Achiuwa's basket. Guys, no shade against Precious Achiuwa. But it would not hurt me if he never took a jump shot again as long as I was alive.
So you saying coaching doesn't matter? So
I didn't say that, Bishop. I said you got to have the talent to coach.
Look at the difference between Cleveland last season and Cleveland this season.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
Players, guys, that coach that left that team went on to make Detroit a good team. The guy that left Detroit went to Cleveland, made them a good team. But what's the key ingredient in all of that? The talent they had. And guess what? Detroit played a great year this year, and they played it without Jaden Ivey.
My head fucking hurts now.
You're not just going into a situation with a bunch of, again, to your point, Bishop, I guess Utah could hire John Wooden, and they're going to win 51 games next year. No, they're not, because they don't have the talent, period.
The talent that we have.
Cleveland has the talent. We have the talent. We have the talent within an 82-game season. Them guys don't have that. They've been, even Detroit, who has won 17, 18 games the last 2 years, still maintained the same talent and the same roster through all that shit. And now you're seeing the fruits of that labor. I don't care. I'm not saying the coach don't matter, but you can't take away the pieces he got in to coach. It ain't like this guy went there. It ain't like he left Detroit, went to Cleveland, and had to build this from the ground up. Thibodeau had to do that. When Thibodeau got to the Knicks, we had Alfred Payton playing point guard.
Right. If we don't this season, if we don't at least push Boston to 7 games.
No, not happening, Bishop.
If we don't at least push Boston to 7 games and put up a fight,
no, not happening. Well, we might put up a fight, but they ain't going 7 games. I'm just going by what you said 5 minutes ago. We couldn't beat them in the regular season.
Yeah, but again, so supposedly, since we've had 82 games, Tibbs has the magic formula now for the playoffs because we got spanked 10 games by 10 games in a row. We got spanked.
Talent will beat any X and O's in the world.
Let me just say this before I break out.
Oh, you're going to bed, man. You sell out.
Whatever. You guys are a lot of fun.
He's getting the Stephen A. campaign together.
Hey, hold on, before he says good night, Bishop, he comes on at 5 to 8. Yo, Dom, I'm feeling good, man. Let me see. Oh, he almost did. We gonna go
Yeah.
at least 3 hours tonight. I was like, huh? You must not have to work tomorrow. No,
No.
I don't. I was like, oh shit. And now he's gonna
Tomorrow's
cut
Good
it short.
Friday.
He's gonna cut it short 12 minutes, Bishop.
We gotta go to church tomorrow. Come on.
I'm getting ready to go to South Carolina anyway. So
See, look at you. You talking all that nonsense.
it's actually my anniversary weekend. So
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
thank you,
Happy
thank you,
Exactly.
thank you, you
How
young.
many years is it now?
42.
Dang.
Wow.
bless you, Dom.
God bless.
Listen, if my
Word.
because you're going where my grandkids are, so thank God I have the weekend off. So all my grandkids are in Myrtle Beach this weekend.
That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going, actually.
So my whole tribe is there. So I'm on vacation.
Nice.
I'll say this, guys. There's this place, not to hold you up, or I know you want to go to bed. Bishop lives down here. I don't know if there's this place in Myrtle Beach. It's called the Marina Del Rey. It's a hotel on the marina. They have this fucking buffet. It's $54.
Okay.
For Easter. They call it like Easter brunch. You don't have to have a room, whatever. You could just buy the lunch. But my wife and I always go there. We stay in the rooms. It's beautiful.
Right.
54 guys. I'm gonna take pictures and send it to you. This shit is incredible, guys. I mean, some people would say $54 a person is, but for what? I mean, here's the thing, guys. Without getting winded, I don't give a shit how much you're paying. You ain't eating $54 worth of food. Sorry. I don't care how pretty it looks. unless you're that fucking hungry or that greedy. Nah. So it's sort of like, it's sort of like, I hate to say this, guys, because I've never been a aesthetics kind of guy.
Right.
But sometimes you look at the aesthetics and you get sold like, oh shit, this shit looks so. Nah, motherfucker, that shit ain't worth $54. No, but hey.
Bacon is still bacon no matter where it comes from.
It's your anniversary.
Thank you, Bishop. And you know
Exactly.
what's that old say? I mean, I didn't survive this many years saying no. I will leave you with this. I was in Old Navy one day. I don't go to Old Navy. I was in there, and there was this young couple, and my wife came up to me and said, blah, 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 blah. And I said, all right, yeah. And the young couple looked at me and said, do you do that all the time? Like, just say yes. Of course. Of course I do. I just say yes. I don't know what the fuck. I don't even know what she asked me. I just said yes.
Right.
And they looked at me like, is this the key to success? And then when they found out how long I was married, and the girl walked away, and I told the guy, now don't take what I said as, carte blanche. There's gonna be a time you say no. But for the most part, like in a store, man, it ain't worth saying no. Just say fucking yes and move on. And
you took it a step further.
Hence the reason I'm paying $120 for fucking 2 meals.
You took it a step further, Dom. I'm not even in the store, so she can do whatever she wants. I'm not even in the store.
Bishop, I do that shit 90% of the time, guys.
I'm not even in the store.
Man,
that's exactly what I do.
There you go.
I do. I sit in the fucking car. Sometimes I just nod out because I'm old and lazy, so I fall asleep. I don't, again, I know R wants to go, but y'all know, you get in the car, and we live in the South, Bishop. I get in the car, and I turn the air conditioner off. So the sun is hitting the windshield, man, I'm out like a light.
You done for. At that point, you're done for.
You're cooking.
Like
exactly.
I'm out like a light, fellas.
I'm not even there. It's like, nah, I'm good.
There you go.
Like I
said, Dom, before we shut down from one old head to another one.
Yes, sir.
Even my old lady.
Hey, be careful. Me and ours the same age.
So, yeah, her phone, it doesn't even, when she calls me, it doesn't have her name. It just says, yes, dear.
Yeah,
literally.
I will say this, Rob and Av, Arnold. Bishop actually met my wife. And that shit was the most comicalest thing I've seen in the last 15 years. This motherfucker. I walked away as much as I hate Bishop. I walked away that day and said, I love this motherfucker. I want to marry Bishop.
Pause, man.
No Diddy.
I'm serious. When I walked away, all I could think about is, I wonder if I said that shit. Nah, I got in the car and drove the fuck home. I said, "Oh, I love this guy, man. He's a fucking
Yo,
trip."
it's funny. Are all you guys married?
Yeah,
I am. Yes.
Av's
Wow.
married. Rob's married.
Yeah.
Bishop, I know Bishop's married. Yeah.
So
You're the only one not married.
So the only
Exactly.
the only one that's not married, we know why.
Yeah. Hey, just think, man. Let's throw some jokes in before we go. This motherfucker didn't know who to fan for, Bishop. He was a Nets fan 1 minute, a Knicks fan the next minute.
Oh, you gonna start that bullshit, bro?
No, I'm just saying. Your inconsistency making a decision is rearing its ugly head.
He's scared of commitment.
Yeah, he's scared of commitment. Yeah.
Nah, it ain't that.
All right.
At this point,
we say this with love, R.
Yeah.
We kid because we care.
Okay. Spin it that way all you want. I'm not buying that bullshit, but it's all good.
Take your ass to bed.
Listen, gentlemen, Dom, Bishop, Av, Rob, Ronan. Who else am I missing? I think that's
Live, Mr. Live.
Mr. Live. Thank you for joining me as always. We're gonna try this next week. Maybe not so much on sports, but unhinged.
Oh, finally.
Yeah. I'm gonna be a little unhinged. I got some stuff to say about social media and dating and all that nonsense. And I got it.
Bishop, he said dating. Oh.
Yeah. I got some stuff I got to get off my chest and whatnot.
We're here for you. We're here for you.
I may have to dress in my therapist clothes just to, so how do you feel about this, R?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be unhinged. So not a little few sports, but I got to get that in because I was gonna do it tonight.
Well, we got to talk about the playoffs a little bit. So we'll probably do 30 minutes of that, and then 90 minutes of like. So why do you hate this girl?
Wait a minute.
God.
By the time we come on next time, the Knicks will have played what? At least 1 or 2, probably 2 games.
Because they play Saturday.
Three.
Right?
They should play 3 because they play Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good.
Oh shit!
So
before you end it, I just want to say thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Rob, we love it, man.
Brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
So as always, Wednesday night, 8:00, Twitter Spaces. Follow me, and then of course we'll be here again next week. And
I got you on Wednesday. I'll be there.
And show up at 8:00 or not 8.
Yeah, I know. I got to get there. I'm gonna set my alarm.
Yeah, we
just so you can wake up for it.
Again, Av, I'm not gonna keep. We talk all day. I have to mute my car when I'm driving my car. These bastards never stop with this texting shit all day, and then R shows up at 8:40. I'm like, really?
Hey man, I'm my bad on that, but I promise 8:00 I'll be there.
Hey, let's go.
Right.
Thanks, R.
Thank you, gentlemen. Take care.
Later, buddy.
Later, guys.